Chapter 506. That thing. Thinking of the ferocious ancient existence, Liao and Lin Luoran both guess that blizzard is Chiyu, but they don't want to say it directly. They all use that thing instead, as if it will disturb something if they call it by its name. Resurrection is also evil in the eyes of cultivators who fight against nature. Cultivators can reincarnate and reincarnate. These two situations are not common, but there are precedents in the world of cultivation. Resurrection was the only way. Just thinking about it made him feel uncomfortable. Resurrection is not rare. Zombies in Huaxia folklore are mortals buried in the land of evil after death. Their corpses come back to life and become monsters living on livestock and human blood. Of course, there are many high-level zombies with intelligence, but they will never be the same as the person buried in the soil before. If the blizzard in the temple is really Chiyu, Lin Luoran doesn't care whether the ancient fierce god wants to resurrect or not. However, if the price of resurrection of blizzard is to turn the Green Mountains into a world of ice and snow and even spread to the earth, Lin Luoran can't just sit back and do nothing. More importantly, blizzard still holds Cyan Little Fox as a hostage. Maybe there is also a reckless Baojia? Does it gather all the 10,000-year hollow azurite in the Green Mountains? Every moment she stays in such a place can nourish her ocean of consciousness. However, she can't stay in such a good place for healing for a long time. Lin Luoran's feeling at this moment is like seeing a bowl of iced black plum soup in the hottest days of summer. She wants to drink it to quench her thirst, but unfortunately, she is suffering from menstrual pain. Let's go. What else can she do except to sigh about her bad luck? Seeing that Lin Luoran is not afraid, Liao also looks less serious. He comforts Lin Luoran. In fact, the situation is not so bad. If it really comes back to life, it won't let us go to the belly of the mountain. Lin Luoran nods. Liao has the same idea as her. They were just in a panic just now. Lin Luoran has already taken a step, but she suddenly stops and mutters to herself, "Is it too wasteful? What is wasteful?" Of course, it is this 10,000-year hollow azurite mountain. Since it can consolidate souls, it should be useful for white fairy, fire phoenix, silverfish, and wood wolf. It is also a good material for making elixirs. There is no reason to waste it. Uncle Liao, do you think it knows we're here? Liao really wants to deny it against his conscience. However, he and Blizzard have met face to face. It is not easy to escape. With that thing's ability, they have gone deep into the mountain. How can they completely avoid its eyes and ears? While talking to herself, Lin Luoran has already taken out her flying sword and dug dozens of cubic meters of 10,000-year hollow azurite into the space. Bah, it would be a waste not to take it. Otherwise, they would die in the Green Mountains. If everyone could go back alive, these were all profits without any cost. The spaces several people saw the 10,000-year hollow azurite thrown in like it didn't cost anything, and their eyes turned scarlet. The fire phoenix hissed, "Good stuff, good stuff." With so many 10,000-year hollow azurite, the fire phoenix feels that it has a bright future. Besides, its fate has been linked with Lin Luoran for a long time, so it doesn't care about hiding. It transforms into a fire mirror and sees the piles of 10,000-year hollow azurite outside the space. The fire phoenix is already drooling. Unfortunately, its saliva is like a stream of fire. It burns Lin Luoran's medicine seedlings. Seeing that Lin Luoran is about to get angry, the fire phoenix quickly diverts its attention. It points to a certain direction in the fire mirror and makes a gesture with its mouth. Lin Luoran looks at the direction it is pointing at. After thinking for a moment, her spiritual mind leaves the space. Seeing that Lin Luoran's eyes are red from digging, Liao touches the motionless exorcism figure on his neck. He is also very dissatisfied with the current situation. Only a fool would give up such an opportunity. He takes out a miniature copper hoe from his arms and extorts a few top-grade spirit stones from Lin Luoran to inlay it. With Wacken running, the copper hoe is unstoppable. Its digging speed is even faster than Lin Luoran's. The copper hoe is powered by spirit stones. People who use it don't need to have personal ability. It seems that someone made it for Liao. Lin Luoran doesn't know where his storage space is. The 10,000-year hollow azurite disappears at the speed of being eaten by rats. The two dig for a while, but nothing unusual happens. Lin Luoran feels bored. She looks at Liao and sees the helplessness in each other's eyes. Is Blizzard too cunning? Or does it not care about these 10,000-year hollow azurite that has been dug away? It can't be lured out at all. The feeling of being in the light while the enemy is in the dark is not good. The two have to be extremely alert and go up the stone steps along the rugged path. Lin Luoran pretends to talk in a relaxed manner. It seems that she doesn't care about Blizzard. In fact, except for the exorcism figure whose effect is not clear, Lin Luoran has almost prepared all the killer moves within her ability. She is not too worried about Liao. This old monster has lived for countless years. He can survive in the dangerous world of cultivation with ease. It is impossible that he doesn't have some trump cards to save his life. The ice peak is towering. Lin Luoran estimates that they have already walked half of it. She doesn't know where the path continues. Bao Jia, who entered the tunnel before them, is still nowhere to be seen. Lin Luoran is worried and her face is gloomy. Liao suddenly tilts his head and looks sideways. Lin Luoran can't help but stop. Drip, drip, drip? Is it a rhythmic dripping sound? Lin Luoran doesn't dare to relax. She has accelerated her pace with Liao. The sound of dripping water comes from the northwest. When they arrive quickly, they find a gap coiled on the mountain wall like a centipede. Wet and cold ice water flows out of the gap and drips on the ground, creating an empty echo in the belly of the mountain. Lin Luoran knocks on the mountain wall with her hand. The sound is dull and unstable. It means that the other side of the mountain wall is not solid. It is probably a shaking liquid. Haven't we gotten out of the range of the ice lake after walking for so long? Liao is confused. No way. There is no illusion circle in the belly of the mountain. The two are not ordinary people. They can't be fooled by the trick of ghosts going around the wall. The terrain has been rising. Lin Luoran and Liao firmly believe that they are taking a shortcut to the top of the mountain. Have they never gotten out of the range of the ice lake? Lin Luoran thinks for a while and turns to ask Liao, "Do you have something waterproof?" Liao glares at her. He takes out a blue pearl the size of a pigeon egg and puts it in his mouth. Lin Luoran secretly vomits blood. It is a water-repellent bead. Liao is definitely a rich man. Seeing that Liao is ready, she summons her flying sword. It seems that she is ready to cut down and split this thin mountain wall. When the sword light falls, it suddenly tilts to the right. A dragonfly that quietly stops on the mountain wall is killed by Lin Luoran with one strike. The dragonfly is dead. Liao's mouth is stuffed with the water-repellent bead. His cheeks are bulging. He vaguely says, "No, no blood. It has been frozen." How can there be a dragonfly in the belly of the mountain? There is no breath of life. It is really easy to hide. Unfortunately, how can she really split the mountain wall and let the lake water pour in? Lin Luoran sneers. She doesn't forget the blizzard that almost froze the tail of the silver dragon's corpse. If she and Liao are surrounded by the inverted lake water, they will be instantly frozen by ice and snow. Lin Luoran is not sure that she can escape. If Fire Phoenix doesn't take the risk to remind her, she will never find out that it is this dragonfly that has been leading them forward. No, it leads them here just to confuse Lin Luoran to split the mountain wall. Even she is not the same as before. She has a backup plan, not to mention that thing. Liao pinches the body of the dragonfly and crushes it into ice pieces. He doesn't find anything. He claps his hands and is about to spit out the water-repellent bead in his mouth. Lin Luoran's face suddenly changes. She pulls Liao's hand and runs away desperately. Liao almost swallows the water-repellent bead in a hurry. He is choked with tears. Lin Luoran drags Liao and flies forward along the winding path as fast as lightning. It is only a few hundred meters away. The thin mountain wall can't withstand the waves and collapses. The turbulent lake water rushes in instantly. The huge momentum makes Lin Luoran stagger before she can fly far. The lake water rushes in with a rumble. Lin Luoran ignores the gravel hitting her body. Liao doesn't say anything either. As long as they are trapped in the lake water, she and Liao can only be the buried sundae in the ice cream sundae. Damn it. They don't find a shortcut. It is obviously the blizzard that invites them into the trap. They can only keep running along the winding path. The speed of the lake water pouring in gradually slows down. Lin Luoran and Liao are quite embarrassed. Listening to the cracking sound of the lake water freezing, the two have no way out. At the end of the winding path, there is dazzling white light. That is the reflection of sunlight on the snow. Lin Luoran and Liao walk out of the mountainside and have reached the top of the ice peak. In front of them is a huge stone building with towering square stone pillars and excellent lighting. The walls are half the height of a person. It is not as delicate as the palaces of ancient Huaxia. The architectural style is big, rough, and magnificent. It is a vast expanse of whiteness. The wind and snow are blocked outside the stone wall, which is half the height of a person. It doesn't cover the charm of the stone palace at all. Instead, it makes it more unattainable. Such a magnificent stone palace is not a small temple, as Liao and the Lark said. If it is really ancient Qiyu under the altar, maybe only such a place is barely worthy of him. The palace is silent. The imagined danger has never happened. The long silence is enough to make people feel cold. Lin Luoran and Liao are on guard, waiting quietly. Until a small drop of ice water drips into Liao's neck, he looks up, and his wrinkled face suddenly tightens. Above the high dome, there are dense white lines like a spider web. In the white icicles, thousands of ice pupas are hanging upside down. Those lifelike faces. Just a moment ago, everyone was discussing how to create a diversion to deal with the blizzard on the ice peak together. At this moment, their eyes are closed tightly, and they look peaceful. They are tightly sealed by translucent ice, and there is no sign of life on them. Messy hair and broken wings are facing the direction of Lin Luoran's head. It is the Lark who has a heavy responsibility. All kinds of monsters and ice pupas are crystal clear and quiet. They are mocking Lin Luoran's self-righteousness with the obvious fact. This is not the song of ice and fire. The spark of hope may have been silently annihilated when the blizzard woke up. Lin Luoran is stunned. She stares at an ice puppet in the distance. She seems to be stimulated by something and strides forward. All kinds of ice pupas retreat in her retinas. Lin Luoran faintly hears laughter from far away. Chapter 507. The laughter comes from far to near, intermittent. The gloominess can't hide the deep complacency. Lin Luoran runs in the vast stone palace. She looks at the ice pupa far away. No matter how close she gets, it always keeps a relative distance from her. Is the ice pupa moving or the stone palace turning? Baojia. Although it is so far away, Lin Luoran still recognizes that the person wrapped in the ice pupa is Baojia. Baojia frowns. Her fingers are pinching an unfinished spell. Her clothes are flying. Time is frozen before she attacks. The expression of surprise is frozen on her face. Lin Luoran is exhausted. The long-lost sweat makes her wet. When she finally comes under the ice pupa, she smiles unconsciously. She has to put Baojia down. Lin Luoran jumps to cut off the spider silk and catches the ice pupa. Her fingers are a little stiff when she touches the ice directly. The chill deep into her soul makes her thinking slow. She has to melt the ice to let Baojia out. Lin Luoran has a lot of flames. Cultivators, true fire spells that can use fire reiki between heaven and earth, fire phoenixes, fire of nirvana, and the wonderful word, fire, taught by the great truths. Which one should she use? The strange ice can freeze people's thinking. The first three kinds of flames seem not to be able to deal with it. Lin Luoran meditates on the strokes of the word fire. However, in this ice and snow day, she is surrounded by coldness and exuberant water reiki. She can't feel the word fire at all. She can't even pick up the pen to draw the word fire. Beads of sweat slide down her forehead, pass her nose, and drip on the ice pupa with a sizzling sound. Lin Luoran's thinking is slow. She hasn't figured out why sweat can melt the ice. The next moment she is surprised. Baojia in the ice pupa struggles to open her eyes. It's so cold, Baojia is still alive. Lin Luoran lowers her head to listen to Baojia's voice. Through the ice, her friend's voice is so low that she can barely hear the word cold. How can she not be cold when she is wrapped in ice? Help me, Luo. Lin Luoran hasn't heard anyone call her Luo for more than 300 years. Her sluggish thinking has a flash of inspiration. Is it a blessing in disguise for Baojia to recover her memory? This possibility bewitches Lin Luoran. She cries out of frustration. Her tears fall on the ice pupa. What should she do? She still can't write the word fire. Fire Phoenix will help her. Lin Luoran wants to explore the bead with her spiritual mind, but she can't do it in a panic, which makes her more anxious. Don't worry, I will save you. Baojia's voice is getting weaker. Pearl. Could the bead save Baojia? Lin Luoran touches the ice pupa. In a panic, she even wants to take the bead off her wrist. The faint laughter rings again. Lin Luoran sweats profusely. She doesn't see that Baojia, who has been moaning in the ice pupa, slightly raises the corner of her mouth, showing a sarcastic and proud smile. No, you can't take off the bead. Who is shouting? Lin Luoran frowns. The bead is not very obedient, and so is the Fire Phoenix. She can't save Baojia. She has to take it off. There is a small group of red light on her chest, which is particularly warm. Lin Luoran is confused for a moment. Something is repelling the chill and she slows down her movements. The red light is getting brighter and brighter, illuminating Baojia's face in the ice pupa. Lin Luoran sees the smile that hasn't been taken back clearly. A string in her mind suddenly tightens. In the raging fire, Lin Luoran subconsciously retreats. With a light crack, Lin Luoran retreats to the gate of the stone hall. She doesn't wake up until she is blown by the roaring cold wind. She sighs slightly, but she can't hide her disappointment. The stone hall is real, and the ice pupa above her head is real, but the Baojia, who remembers her, is fake. Lin Luoran looks at the floating snowstorm not far away, and the horror penetrates into her bones. A piece of black paper figure falls on the stone slab in front of the snowstorm. The red string is broken. Lin Luoran has understood what happened in an instant. If it weren't for the exorcism figure that works at the critical moment, she might have given her most mysterious trump card to the enemy. Liao is still giggling in place. She doesn't know what kind of illusion he is in. However, the exorcism figure on his neck is firmly hanging. It seems that he can still hold on and is not in danger. Lin Luoran looks at the floating snowstorm with a stiff face. For you. Fine Edelweiss is spinning and dancing and the snowstorm is buzzing with laughter. It is a thick and stiff male voice. Maybe it hasn't spoken for a long time, so it can't speak smoothly. No, I guessed it. It is really the ancient Qiyu who is suppressed in the Green Mountains by the Yellow Emperor. Logically speaking, the situation is the same as what she and Liao think. However, Lin Luoran always feels that something is strange. If Qiyu really wakes up, what is his purpose of detaining Cyan Little Fox? The nine-tailed fox is the guardian beast of the Jiuli tribe. It has no reason to detain Cyan Little Fox. What do you want to do? The snowstorm stops and seems to be thinking about Lin Luoran's question. A vague human figure can be seen in the center of the snowstorm. Give me the sacred pearl and let them go. Snowstorm refers to the ice pupas that are spreading above her head. Lin Luoran shakes her head. She is not a saint who will exchange her sacred pearl for these monsters that she doesn't know. The snowstorm is not angry at her refusal. A gust of cold air whizzes away, and the ice pupas above her head are constantly changing their positions. When they stop, two ice pupas attract Lin Luoran's attention. One is a cyan fox sealed in ice, and the other is a beautiful woman standing with a sword on her back. They are Cyan Little Fox and Baojia. The Cyan Little Fox is bound by a collar, holding up a free space. Only the outer layer is sealed by ice and snow. Hearing the noise, it opens its eyes reluctantly. Seeing the scene in front of it, its eyes are full of joy and worry. Baojia's eyes are closed tightly. Lin Luoran can't tell whether she is dead or alive. The snowstorm buzzes. Exchange for the sacred pearl, sacred pearl. Lin Luoran touches her wrist. Qiyu has her lifeline. He threatens her with Cyan Little Fox and Baojia to exchange for the sacred pearl. The sacred pearl is a rare paradise for cultivators. But what can it do for Qiyu, who only has his soul left? Lin Luoran remembers the faint laughter and frowns. You are not Qi. Who are you? A pair of eyes falls on Lin Luoran through the flying snowflakes. The eyes are especially reluctant to part with the sacred pearl on her wrist. Miss Lin, it's been a long time. The rough male voice turns into a female voice. Just like the laughter at the beginning, it sounds familiar. Miss Lin, in her memory, someone has called her like this. Because it is too special, Lin Luoran thinks for a while and stares at the snowstorm in disbelief. Are you Sakurako Asada? Lin Luoran frowns deeply. Thinking of several Nihanese who disappeared with Cyan Little Fox in Weifang more than 300 years ago, she is more sure of her guess. The female voice is indeed Sakurako Asada. Lin Luoran thinks they must be dead. Unexpectedly, Sakurako Asada seems to have a different situation. Now she is neither human nor ghost, but also very powerful. Lin Luoran can't help but breathe a sigh of relief. It is easier to deal with Sakurako Asada, who has only 300 years of cultivation, than to face ancient Qiyu. There is only one thing that doesn't make sense. Why does Sakurako Asada want the sacred pearl? After Lin Luoran calls out the origin, the flying snowflakes gradually calm down. A woman with ice skin and snow skin, white hair and eyebrows, and even silver pupils appears in front of Lin Luoran. The face of the snow girl is the same as that of Sakurako Asada. Lin Luoran still feels strange. That is the intuition that she has cultivated for hundreds of years. No, if this is Sakurako Asada, who suppressed her under the altar of the temple. Cyan Little Fox is not so stupid that it dealt with Sakurako Asada and then released her in person. Time flies so fast. I haven't seen you for more than 300 years. Miss Lin, you are still as beautiful as before. The snow girl holds her skirt and smiles. Her expression is gentle. Her tenderness is the characteristic of Japanese women. The sweat on Lin Luoran's body has evaporated. Her eyes wander from the ice pupas wrapping Cyan Little Fox and Baojia, and finally fall on the snow girl's face. Her eyebrows and eyes are vivid. Every frown and smile is the rebirth of Sakurako Asada. Even if some evil creature took the opportunity to read her memory just now, it will not be so detailed that it can transform Sakurako Asada into a detailed Sakurako. After all, Lin Luoran's memory of Sakurako Asada is too distant, and the other party is not her acquaintance. She has a vague memory of Sakurako Asada. Miss Lin, it is a good deal to exchange a sacred pearl for your 3 friends, including your own life. The snow girl comforts Lin Luoran unhurriedly and gently. Lin Luoran sneers. If she hands over the sacred pearl, how can she have any chance of winning? These thousands of ice pupas are the aborigines of the Green Mountains world. The personal ability of monsters is not very high. If they really work together, she can only escape. Now they are all frozen, which only shows that the snow girl's ability is above her. Then why does the snow girl want to kill her slowly? Lin Luoran suddenly understands what is wrong. The snow girl obviously has the ability to capture her, but she just asks her to hand over the sacred pearl in such a big circle. Sacred pearl? Yes, she hasn't figured out all the functions of the mysterious sacred pearl for hundreds of years. There must be something that the enemy is afraid of. The snow girl gently persuades Lin Luoran, but Lin Luoran is indifferent. She turns hostile in an instant and points at the direction of Cyan Little Fox. The ice pupas wrapping it become thicker at a speed visible to the naked eye. Cyan Little Fox's ability to be protected by the collar is weakened, and it makes a slight moan. Since you don't know how to appreciate favors, Sakurako can only take revenge first. With the cracking sound of ice, Cyan Little Fox's limbs have been stiff, showing signs of exhaustion. Lin Luoran is very anxious. When she is about to take action, Liao, who is giggling, suddenly scolds. The exorcism figure hanging on his neck burns out spontaneously. Liao wakes up with sweat all over his head. Don't rush to do it. Its situation is a bit weird. Liao crawls over in a hurry, gasping while talking. The snow girl is stunned when she hears the words. She stares at Liao for a while and suddenly smiles. It's interesting. I can't see through its origin. As soon as she finishes speaking, a black line spreads from the tip of her forehead, and it instantly invades her whole body like a spider web. Lin Luoran sees the pain on the snow girl's face. She seizes the opportunity and moves her fingers slightly. 2 white chains fly out and snatch the ice pupas wrapping Cyan Little Fox and Baojia. The snow girl screams to the sky, and snowflakes wrap her up again. Somehow, the white snowflakes are dyed black. An amazing coercion is spreading, and something is breaking out of the cocoon. Chapter 508. The path of cultivation had always been a struggle against the heavens, and the opposite of struggle was the word escape. For cultivators, going against the flow is normal. If they are infected with escape, no matter what the reason is, once there is fear in their hearts, their state of mind will stagnate. However, if they are disturbed by the devil inside when advancing, they will be seriously injured or even killed. The reason why Lin Luoran has the idea of escaping is that the unknown existence that is about to break out of the cocoon exudes amazing coercion. She has never seen such a thing in more than 300 years of cultivation. The snow girl, who looks like Sakurako Asada, is just a small shrimp soldier leading the charge. Liao is sweating profusely and collapses. Lin Luoran has the idea of escaping, but her feet are firmly stuck to the ground by this coercion and she can't move. The wind and snow gradually calm down. A strange phantom of about 20 feet high appears. 8 feet, 3 heads and 6 arms, and a bronze head and iron forehead are actually connected in the same torso. Lin Luoran feels a chill in her heart. Chiyu, the legendary soldier lord of Huaxia. Even if he is defeated, the Yellow Emperor painted his image on the military flag. Many feudal lords see the Chiyu who surrendered without fighting. Soldier Lord, God of War? There are too many compliments attached to this existence. The most shocking one is that Chiyu is known as one of the 3 ancestors of Huaxia. In other words, even if the Jiuli tribe is defeated, there must be the blood of the Jiuli tribe in the blood of Huaxia thousands of years later. Even if it is very thin, Lin Luoran can't straighten her back and say that Chiyu has nothing to do with her. The fear in her heart and the disparity in strength make Lin Luoran watch Chiyu transform out of the snowstorm, but she can't make any response. She is like a clumsy turtle pressed down by a sudden Mount Tai. She can only shrink in place with the force of thousands of pounds. Anxiety, confusion, and a strong sense of exhaustion hit her heart. Hand over the sacred pearl. Chiyu speaks with a thick nasal voice and a low, muffled voice. The pronunciation has the charm of ancient Huaxia language. As soon as it speaks, hostility comes to Lin Luoran's face, forming a surging wind. Lin Luoran's body is shaky, but Liao is a little sober. He throws a pastel hill to hold the two. The suffocating pressure disappears and Lin Luoran straightens her back again. The pastel hill is obviously a great treasure. Lin Luoran feels that Chiyo's eyes fall on it for a while and then move away. Unfortunately, Liao has no personal ability and it seems that he can barely hold it. Uncle Liao, please take them away first. Being a saint is the worst. Now she has no spare energy to save monsters and green mountains. If Liao can take Cyan Little Fox and Baojia away first, there will be no worries. There is a chance for them to escape. Liao is struggling. His smile is uglier than crying. In the current situation, how can Chiyu let anyone go if he doesn't achieve his goal? You'd better hold on to that bead of yours. We can still hold on a little longer. The pastel hill can calm the wind and calm the mind. However, Liao's intuition tells Chiyu that it is the so-called sacred pearl. Lin Luoran is worried. Sacred pearl, what other functions does the sacred pearl have? She doesn't know at all. The bitterness of life is that you think you are the protagonist with a halo and a plug-in. However, your life is full of troubles. It forces your mind to be twisted and you have to develop into a villain. You think that personal ability is the same as farming. However, one instance after another tells you that this is the same as leveling up. Leveling up is fine. But why do you have to fight bosses of higher ranks every time? It's okay to fight with higher ranks. Her teammate Liao is obviously a man with divine weapons, but his personal ability is at level 0. He is not a shepherd, a man, nor a sword. And she has to shoulder the safety of 3 teammates. Can she concentrate on fighting the boss? The seemingly powerful Fire Phoenix and the mysterious Wood Wolf often look at the sky at a 45-degree angle. Hush, they can only watch. They can't even get out of the space. The only one who can help is the confused little silver fish. Anyway, it has proved the Godhead and its ocean of consciousness is seriously damaged. It can't use any magical holy spells. The more Lin Luoran analyzes the strength of both sides, the more powerless she feels. Am I really going to die? Is it really useful to put the fire crystal back on the altar? Lin Luoran looks at the various kinds of ice pupas hanging above her head with a complicated expression. In front of absolute strength, tricks and opportunism are really useless. Now she can only take a risk, right? Uncle Liao, you have to hold on. Chiyu has a bad temper. He is 20 feet tall and looks like a towering hill. He is very dissatisfied with Lin Luoran's performance. His body is full of hostility. The ice pupas closest to him are the first to suffer. A bear monster, a horse-headed human-faced beast, a phoenix-tailed butterfly. Ice pupas fall from the top of the hall. They are twisted by the hostility and fall to the ground and break into ice dregs. Ice dregs are all over the ground. Even the heartless Liao feels cruel. These monsters he has provoked can never come back to life. Ice pupas fall to the ground and break one after another. Lin Luoran closes her eyes to calm down. If she can't feel any fire, she might as well go with the flow. She looks at the sky full of ice and snow. There is wind, rain, ice, frost, and snow. She has learned 8 golden word figures of wind, rain, thunder, lightning, ice, frost, snow, and fire from the great truths. In today's situation, there are at least 5 words. Why is she still afraid? Only actual combat can verify what she has learned. She writes the word figure with the strength of the gathering vitality period to deal with Chiyu, who has no body and incomplete soul. It is hard to predict who will win. She also uses her spear to attack her shield. She can't write the word fire now. The contradiction doesn't match. There is no difference between attack and defense. The only thing that matters is whose spear is more powerful. Chiyu is not the god who controls ice and snow. No matter what power he borrows, the mysterious golden word figure may not be weaker. Now she is only worried that the personal ability of the gathering vitality period is not enough to face the power of the ancient existence. Whatever, with the support of Liao, Lin Luoran retreats step by step. They are close to the gate of the stone hall, and Chiyu is afraid. Lin Luoran takes 2 ice pupas and Liao out of the stone hall together. The temple of ice and snow is magnificent in the sun. Outside the temple, ice and snow are everywhere. Compared with the atmosphere inside the stone hall, the environment may be difficult, but it can make Lin Luoran calm down. The wind is whistling in her ears. Can she catch its raging pulse with her hands? Rain is the accumulation of clouds to a certain extent. When they fall to the ground, they become rain. In another sense, water will overflow when it is full. Ice is the solid existence of water at an extremely low temperature. It is water. Compared with mild water, it is a sharper weapon. Frost and snow are like 2 twin sisters, with only slight differences in appearance. 5 golden word figures rotate in her mind. Lin Luoran confirms every stroke and every stroke. The wind and snow are intertwined, frost falls, and heavy rain falls. A picture of wind and snow is depicted little by little. Compared with whether the strokes are accurate or not, the real momentum depends more on the artistic conception. Lin Luoran has undoubtedly touched this artistic conception. As the man in robe taught in the dream, you have to see the essence of the mountain. Powerful magic weapons with different effects, brilliant spells and arts of nature, elixirs that can increase personal ability, they all have their advantages and disadvantages on the path of personal ability enhancement. The time of personal ability enhancement is shortened with the help of external forces. However, the understanding of the Tao of nature and the law of the universe are getting worse and worse with each generation. The essence of personal ability enhancement, the essence of the world. Lin Luoran stands with her eyes closed. She seems to see cumulonimbus clouds accumulating in the sky. Their shapes change endlessly and they become thicker and thicker. A gust of wind shakes them. The rain falls. Because of the extremely low temperature, it turns into snow on the way and then slowly solidifies into ice. In the middle of the night, the steaming water quietly condenses into frost under the leaves beside the pond. The sun and the moon are eternal. Even if the stars fall and there is no Earth in the universe one day, these natural phenomena will still occur on similar planets. It will never change. Mortals, cultivators, beasts, monsters, demonic cultivators, devils, and the vast stars, which one of them was immortal. The shining pearl will be covered with dust. Only the wind will always wander on the planet and the universe. Only the rain can always nourish the green seedlings and water the dry soil under the feet. Only the ice, snow, and frost will quietly visit one morning in winter to show the change of the 4 seasons. They are eternal. They are the natural law of the universe. Lin Luoran seems to have experienced the cycle of 4 seasons, but in fact only a short moment has passed. When she opens her eyes again with confidence, Chiu looks at her coldly in front of the stone palace. The magnificent palace can't take away Chiyo's intimidating coercion. The sun shines on the snow and the light is dazzling. The ice lake dries up. The entire Green Mountains, regardless of inside or outside, is already a world of ice and snow. Then, let's have a duel of ice and snow. Lin Luoran raises her wrist and uses her fingers as a pen. When she writes the first stroke, she clearly sees the shock in the eyes of Chiyu. That kind of eyes is a little familiar. It seems that the superior god is shocked by her, an ant, and finally he is willing to look at her. The character is complete. From the distant sky, the wind that appears out of nowhere surrounds Lin Luoran. Liao looks at her with more than shock, but also confusion. He always feels that he has seen a similar scene somewhere. However, his memory is shrouded in a thick fog, making Liao unable to see the truth. Thinking about it carefully, his head feels as if it is pricked by thousands of needles at the same time. Lin Luoran ignores the eyes of Chiyu and has no time to care about Liao's emotions. She has been completely immersed in a wonderful state. The wind comes, the rain falls, the snow falls, the ice condenses, and the frost arrives. 5 golden character figures form under her pen and then disappear into the nothingness. In the wind and snow, the Green Mountains are shocked. Lin Luoran can't believe that she has written 5 characters in a row. She walks slowly on the ice field in the snow. At this moment, she is the god who controls ice and snow. Melt. Her fingers draw a beautiful curve. She controls the law of ice and snow and gives a decree. A simple word, melt, can't be resisted by ice and snow. The ice field under her feet melts first, including the ice on Baojia and Cyan Little Fox. It melts into snow water at a speed visible to the naked eye. The thick layer of snow melts. The land under her feet is originally blue. The colorful flowers that are rejuvenated are the wishing flowers that represent hope in the Green Mountains. In the boundless ice and snow, this touch of green brings a little hope. Chapter 509. Lin Luoran is fascinated by cultivation, probably because of these wonderful changes in front of her. When the structure of a substance is slightly changed, the reaction is extremely wonderful. For example, carbon atoms can produce ordinary graphite or brilliant diamond because of their different arrangements. From water to snow to ice, the same substance is presented in different wonderful ways. It confirms the natural science she learned in her youth, which makes her miss it. Lin Luoran's simple word, melt, has obviously shocked Liao and his enemies. The ice under their feet melts, and the snow water quickly seeps into the soil, nourishing the originally frozen grass. Verdant green appears in the pure white. Even the ice on Cyan Little Fox and Baojia has melted. Cyan Little Fox is lying on the grass panting. It has been trapped for a long time, but it seems to be in a good state. Unfortunately, Baojia is still unconscious. No one knows what Baojia is going through at the moment. Lin Luoran is just a little worried about her frowning in a coma. The ice and snow continue to melt with Lin Luoran as the center. A large area of green is revealed, and it even spreads to the feet of Qiyu. It seems that the Green Mountains will be completely unsealed. Unfortunately, the man in robe is not here to write the golden word figures. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to waste her personal ability of the gathering vitality period. Unsealing the Green Mountains is obviously an unwise choice. Her main purpose is to unseal Cyan Little Fox and Baojia, as well as all kinds of ice pupas hanging upside down in the stone hall behind Qiyu. The direction of melting snow is obviously the direction where Qiyu is. It wakes up from some kind of memory. With a muffled groan, the melting is stopped 3 feet in front of it. It even takes a big step forward, forcing Lin Luoran to retreat. Both of them are flying in the sky with ice and snow. The difference is that Qiyu is surrounded by a mass of black, while Lin Luoran is surrounded by a mass of white. They are clearly enemies and allies. Hey, stupid fox, are you okay? Liao is distracted and kicks Cyan Little Fox, who can't get up for a long time. The fox grits its teeth and responds, "Animal trap. You actually used the animal trap to trap the 9-tailed royal family." Obviously, Cyan Little Fox is angry. Liao is a little embarrassed. "I made a mistake in a hurry. Please forgive me." Cyan Little Fox is so angry that it laughs instead. It knows that what Liao said is true. It happened suddenly at that time. If the animal trap had not been in a stalemate with the ice and snow, it would not have been able to stay awake for so long. It is also because of the animal trap that it is trapped in the ice without any ability to resist. This was the Green Mountains, the main territory of the 9-tailed fox clan. No matter what kind of outsider it was, they shouldn't have left it in such a sorry state. Cyan Little Fox jumps on of Liao's shoulder along his trousers and whispers in his ear. It is Liao of him. Liao nods hard and agrees. As the former leader of the Jili tribe, it is too weird to imprison the 9-tailed fox tribe without any explanation, even if it has been corrupted. It seems that it hasn't lost its mind. How can it beat its own people as soon as they meet? He didn't kill Lord Fox because he wanted to lure you out. This problem has troubled Cyan Little Fox for a few days. In its opinion, the remnant soul of the Neon Woman from 300 years ago is not the main reason at all. The behavior of Qiyu in front of it is weird everywhere. If it wants to be resurrected, it can just obediently guard the mountain condensed by the Green Mountains under its feet. Anyway, it has waited for so many years, and the passage of time is not surprising for Qiyu. Why can't it wait to seal the mountain with ice and snow? If it wants to resurrect, it can just make a fortune quietly. Surrounded by ice and snow, Lin Luoran looks particularly majestic. The Cyan Little Fox still can't figure out what Qiyu is up to. At this time, Lin Luoran takes the lead in flying, followed by a mass of black. The wind and snow in the air are getting fiercer. The black and white are about to fight for the victory. Vitality gradually returns to the Cyan Little Fox, and its frozen mind also comes back to life. The Cyan Little Fox's tail suddenly freezes when it sees that Lin is struggling to resist Qiyu's fierce attacks. Did Qiyu keep them alive just to lure the stupid Lin Luoran here? It's strange. They don't hate each other. The Cyan Little Fox says to itself and pulls Liao's hair. "Hey, where is the crystal? Isn't the crystal that fell from the altar in Linny's hands?" Seeing that Qiyu is entangled by Lin Luoran, Liao also understands that this is their chance to reverse the disadvantage. Putting away the pastel hill, Liao finds that it is not frozen immediately. He puts the pastel hill in the arms of the unconscious Baojia and runs to the stone hall with the Cyan Little Fox. The Cyan Little Fox jumps off Liao's shoulder and jumps all the way to the altar in the stone hall. Without Qiyu's obstruction, Their actions are extraordinarily smooth. Looking at the defenseless altar in front of them, a man and a fox look at each other. If they have the crystal in their hands, won't they be able to choke Qiyu at once? Liao points to various kinds of ice pupas hanging above his head. Linny gave the crystal and several substitutes to these monsters. She originally wanted to fish in troubled waters, but unfortunately, they were too disappointing. All of them were killed in one round. Liao carefully identifies for a while and points out a few monsters. The cyan little fox's tail is flexible. As the cyan light surges, it carefully rolls a few ice pupas to the ground. Can you thaw them? Liao stares at the cyan little fox who asks this question. If he had a little personal ability, he would be able to defeat Qiyu with a set of holy weapons. The cyan little fox sighs. Thinking that Liao actually trapped it with a monster trap, its face is full of frustration. Looking at the few frozen demonic beasts on the ground, it decided to save them since they were its subjects. The fox family is good at illusions and also dabbles in other arts of nature. Nine-tailed celestial fox, a natural spiritual species, doesn't need to be taught by a master. With the awakening of the racial inheritance, the corresponding knowledge of arts of nature will naturally awaken at each stage of personal ability. The growth of spirit beasts is very slow. When Cyan Little Fox first met Lin Luoran, it was wandering outside the Green Mountains. Although it was many years old, it was just a young fox with a solid tail. It couldn't protect itself at all. After many years of personal ability enhancement in the Green Mountains, it grew a second tail. It was the awakening of the inheritance of the nine-tailed celestial fox and learned illusion spells and some secret methods. It is not difficult to melt ice. Cyan Little Fox's long tail turns into needles and it wraps around the ice pupas flexibly. It actually uses external force to peel off the ice layer little by little. The frozen monsters are not even hurt. It can be seen that Cyan Little Fox has a delicate control of strength. Liao is amazed by this fox-shaped ice shaver. This damn fox usually doesn't show off, but it is actually a little useful. The ice outside has been shaved, and the vitality of these monsters is frozen. It will take some effort to wake them up. Cyan Little Fox opens its mouth and spits out a shiny bead the size of an ordinary bead. Liao is drooling. This is the inner bolus of a nine-tailed fox. It belongs to one of the few monster boluses that can directly enhance personal ability for cultivators. A few wisps of green mist float from the inner bolus into the monster's noses. Cyan Little Fox casually separates a wisp of green mist and floats outside the hall. Even the monsters are saved, so it is not stingy to give a wisp of essence of bolus to Qin Baojia outside the hall. The inner bolus of the nine-tailed fox is very ordinary. When the essence of bolus enters the body, it makes the blood and qi in the frozen monsters restless. In fact, the blood of human animals is the hottest. With vitality in the body, it is easy to break the shackles of ice. A wisp of essence of bolus in Cyan Little Fox's inner bolus plays a guiding role. Both Cyan Little Fox and Liao are very anxious. The situation is grim. Lin Luoran has been showing signs of exhaustion for a long time. It seems that she will not be able to entangle Qiyu soon. Cyan Little Fox grits its teeth and adds more essence of bolus. The cyan hair on its body has dimmed a lot. Finally, the monsters lying on the ground move. Cyan Little Fox breathes a sigh of relief and absorbs the inner bolus back into its body. Where is the crystal? Which of you did she give the crystal to? Several monsters who have just woken up are still confused. Liao pushes and scratches them forcibly to wake them up. Monsters have been cultivating for many years, so they naturally know some basic refining techniques. The Green Mountains has no shortage of magical materials and earthly treasures. Most of them have storage spaces. When they wake up, they also understand the seriousness of the situation. When they touch the crystal again, their storage bags are empty. Liao and Cyan Little Fox have never seen such a situation before. They are stunned for a moment. Baojia outside the hall also wakes up. She struggles in and holds the stone pillar. She frowns and her headache has not subsided yet. Some intermittent pictures flash in her mind, corroborating with what Lin Luoran once told her. More importantly, Lin Luoran doesn't know about the magnificent underground world under the rolling desert, the steel stained with blood, and the white light that suddenly enters her mind. The ocean of consciousness is crushed by brute force. A wisp of consciousness seed falls on the edge of the ocean of consciousness in the process of being crushed. It is ignored by the invading brute force. The nature of human beings to seek benefits and avoid harm makes it lurk quietly. It secretly peeps at the invading brute force and waits for an opportunity. Two groups of consciousness share the same ocean of consciousness. It knows something about the invader. It knows that she is the saintess and wants to leave the earth. If this situation continues, this wisp of consciousness seed can gradually grow over time. It is not as good as the invader, but it is hopeful to complete the consciousness of Qin Baojia. However, the saintess tries to kill Lin Luoran. The seed of consciousness is shocked and struggles to resist. Its body responds to save its friend's life, but it falls into a deep sleep. The purpose of the yin-yang dust circle and the soul wood under the Qingqing Taoist temple is to nourish this wisp of consciousness seed and let it take root in the ocean of consciousness to find the former Qin Baojia. It is a pity that the earth has changed and the yin-yang dust circle is weak. Qin Baojia wakes up in advance. After experiencing interstellar wandering, she actually forms a new consciousness personality. The new consciousness personality suppresses the seed of consciousness. The memory belonging to Qin Baojia seems to be annihilated in the long river of time until she enters the Green Mountains as Nolan, until, when Baojia is still sorting out some shocking memories, the lark on the other side has woken up. Liao never thought that Lin Luoran would be so bold to give the lark a real crystal. The bird is also smart. It gives up the convenient storage space and hides the crystal in its belly. It spits out the crystal at this time. The surface of the crystal is still warm. Cyan Little Fox and Liao are both overjoyed. The altar is also intact. After putting the crystal back, the situation will be much better. However, Cyan Little Fox is very scared of the altar. It encourages Liao to put the crystal there. Seeing that the crystal is about to return to its place, Baojia suddenly opens her narrow eyes. Wait! The picture in her mind is still very complicated, but Baojia reluctantly stops Liao. Is the familiar breath the reason for the Jiuli blood mentioned by the lark? What about the breath that makes her afraid? When Liao is stunned, a mass of black snow has swept over and seized the crystal. Chapter 510. Lin Luoran won't yell, "Guard the altar," for no reason. Liao, who is the closest to the altar, is robbed of his crystal. He thinks quickly, but he has no time to defend himself. A strong force has hit his ribs hard. Liao is knocked into the air and hits a hard stone pillar. He spits out blood and curls up on the ground. No one knows whether he is dead or alive. Liao has no personal ability at all. Facing Chiyo's blow, he is probably dead. Cyan Little Fox is stunned for a moment, and its eyes turn red for no reason. The little fox feels that it hates Liao very much. When they first met, he threatened to roast it and eat it, which made it lose face in front of Golden Hawk. However, when it was in danger, Liao actually escaped by himself and used the animal collar to trap it. When life and death really come, Cyan Little Fox has the most intuitive reaction after several years of interstellar travel. As a noble nine-tailed royal, it almost cries. It looks at Liao, who is lying on the ground sadly. With red eyes, it makes a gesture with its two front paws. The gesture is extremely beautiful. After a flash of cyan light, the altar where Cyan Little Fox is, including itself, disappears in front of everyone. The illusion of the nine-tailed fox. Lin Luoran sees Cyan Little Fox's ability for the first time, but she doesn't look happy. Cultivator's keen sixth senses let her sense that Liao's breath is getting weaker. At that moment, Cyan Little Fox must want to save Liao. However, because of Lin Luoran's guard the altar, it launches the illusion of the fox family with red eyes. There is no better way to protect the altar than this. The altar is in that direction. However, the illusion of the fox family is powerful. If you don't step into the area, it will be empty. Once you step into the area of the illusion, what you can see and whether you can wake up or not depends on the cyan little fox's manipulation ability. Chi-Yu has a dark face. Seeing the altar disappearing, it seems to be burning with anger. Baojia has a splitting headache. The familiar breath of blood connection is even fainter. Instead, it is the fearless thing in her memory that makes her afraid. Lin Luoran steps forward to hold her. Baojia's body is trembling. The fear deep in her soul must make her feel like dying. Someone who can make a person so scared can't be her ancestor. It can only be Baojia's biggest enemy in her life. Baojia's biggest enemy in her life is naturally her enemy. Lin Luoran's eyes flash. She should have thought of it. During the battle, even though she was writing the golden runes, the other party was still able to do it with ease. So why didn't he kill everyone in one fell swoop? Chi-Yu seemed to be deliberately giving them a chance to carry out their ridiculous plan under the absolute power. If the crystal was placed there, it would seal Chi-Yu. Would it still be so careless? Cyan Little Fox is caught, but Liao, who has no personal ability, escapes. He even sends a letter to her for help with a paper crane. This was a trap. Chi-Yu had been waiting for her to walk into it from the beginning. Lin Luoran originally couldn't figure out how the sealed ancient god of war knew the importance of the sacred bead. However, when Chi-Yu deliberately held back in the fight, the slight leakage of breath alerted her. Compared with Baojia's fear, she was more disgusted by the smell. If it is the existence that Baojia fears the most in her life, it is undoubtedly the existence that Lin Luoran hates the most. Apart from the Alpha Alliance, there is only one existence that she hates the most. The truth is clear. Liao is about to put the crystal back, but Chi-Yu doesn't come back to help. Instead, he entangles Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran's mind is roaring with thunder. She can't put it back. Sure enough, she is still one step late. Seeing Cyan Little Fox disappearing with the altar, Chi-Yu feels very sorry. What a pity! It is really a pity. It is one step late for Lin Luoran, who discovers the truth. However, for Chi-Yu, who has been planning for a long time, he is only one step late. Long time no see, Saintess? Lin Luoran lowers her eyes. When she says the word Saintess, her tone is full of sarcasm. Chi-Yu raises his head with a cold look. He is just like the Saintess of Juli tribe that she and Baojia are familiar with. It seems that in the eyes of the two female cultivators standing in front of him, no matter how much their personal ability has improved, no matter how many years have passed, they are still like ants. Don't you admit defeat? Admit defeat? If the word admit defeat exists in Lin Luoran's dictionary, she would have probably died in the blood pool in the underground palace of Jinling. Countless evil spirits corrode her flesh and blood, and then her bones are reborn. The constant pain makes Lin Luoran, who used to be cowardly in the face of betrayal and fate, completely die. Even if fate plays tricks on people and makes her fall into the hands of the fake Saintess again, why does she always ask her to admit defeat? 300 years have passed, but the fake Saintess is still arrogant. No matter she is a mortal or a cultivator, does the so-called Earth Aborigine really have to be so humble? She will never admit defeat. Never. The black wind and snow dissipate. The face of Chi-Yu, with 8 feet, 3 heads and 6 arms, and a bronze head and iron forehead is blurred. The fake Saintess doesn't bother to pretend anymore and shows her real body. Maybe this is the appearance of the fake Saintess's first host body after coming to the Earth? She has upturned red phoenix eyes, a straight nose, plump red lips, and flawless facial features. Her red dress is like fire, proud and dazzling. She is the most dazzling flame in the world. She is not the most beautiful woman Lin Luoran has ever seen, but she is the first woman that people will notice even if it is a galaxy beauty contest. She is so dazzling that people can't move their eyes away. Baojia, who used to be arrogant, is a little like her. No wonder the fake Saintess wants to possess her body. Her first host body must be Hanba, the daughter of the Yellow Emperor. Lin Luoran is looking at the fake Saintess, and the latter is also looking at her. In just 300 years, the Earth has entered the Doomsday Era. This little female cultivator can still advance to the level of gathering vitality. Is it because she is so lucky? Or is she the chosen inheritor? The latter is very likely. In addition to the bead, the little female cultivator can also write golden word figures. The fake saintess covers her mouth and sneers. She will know the truth soon anyway. Her eyes fall on the bead on Lin Luoran's wrist. She has seen the bead before. When she was trapped in the desert by the god Whipping Whip again, she recalled the long-ago picture from her memory. Unfortunately, she was in a hurry to leave the earth at that time, so she didn't connect this bead with that bead. She gave up a chance for nothing. However, a mere few hundred years was nothing to an existence like her. The most important thing now is to completely occupy the power that belongs to Qiyu. The fake saintess looks at the crystal in her palm. As long as she puts the crystal back on the altar, the last thought of Qiyu will disappear in an instant. The simple and honest young man who once smiled at her in the distant prehistoric era will really disappear from the world forever. Thinking of this result, the fake saintess, who has always regarded all creatures on the earth as aborigines, has a trace of inexplicable emotion in her heart. She thinks that she must have stayed on the earth for too long, so she has been infected with the ridiculous reluctance virus of earthlings. Her eyes are full of charm. Seeing the two vigilant little female cultivators, she suddenly feels a little funny. 300 years ago, it was these two people. 300 years later, they are standing side by side in front of her again. The so-called destiny is really teasing people. The fake saintess breathes at them. Seeing Lin Luoran clenching her fists stubbornly, she feels it is very interesting. She can't help but disagree with that person's taste from the bottom of her heart. You are just a nine-tailed fox with two tails. How dare you play illusion in front of me? The fake saintess laughs in a low voice. If it is an adult celestial fox, even if it has just evolved 6 tails, it will be a bit troublesome for her in her current state. As for this little fox, its personal ability is too poor and its temper is too bad. It didn't know what was good for it 300 years ago, and now it has not improved at all. Lin Luoran doesn't need to care about the old relationship. Time seems to slow down, and the continuous movements become frames of slow pictures. Lin Luoran watches the fake saintess stretch out her slender fingers and point at the direction of the altar. A black line flashes out like lightning and pierces a barrier. No matter how you change your position or how many barriers there are in front of absolute power, if there is a leaf in front of you, you can raise your hand to pick the leaf and find the Mount Tai behind the leaf. Such a domineering scene is absolutely worth celebrating if it happens to Lin Luoran herself. However, at this moment, it is the fake saintess who raises her hand to destroy the illusion of Cyan Little Fox. Lin Luoran is holding Baojia, but she is overwhelmed by the coercion of the fake saintess. Not only can she not go forward to help, but she is also shaking. The altar is revealed. The Cyan Little Fox is hit directly by the black line. It spits out a mouthful of blood and falls straight down. The fake saintess doesn't hide her disdain. She kicks away the injured Cyan Little Fox and plays with the crystal in her hand. She turns back and shows Lin Luoran an indecipherable smile. Lin Luoran feels a fire rising from the bottom of her feet, rolling along her limbs and all the way to the top of her head. Her eyes are red and she is in a daze. Is it anger? Lin Luoran feels that her limbs and all the bones are boiling. Led by this force, she has broken through the deterrence of the fake saintess and rushed out. Lin Luoran's speed is unprecedentedly fast. With a slight sound, she has already stood in front of the fake saintess. The fake saintess stands on the left side of the altar. She is infuriated by Lin Luoran's suicidal action. Lin Luoran stands on the right side of the altar. Before she is burned to death by the anger, she feels the heat on her fingertips. Just as the fake saintess shook her finger at the Cyan Little Fox, Lin Luoran raises her hand and aims at the fake saintess. A real flame bursts out and hits the fake saintess precisely. The fake saintess screams in shock and anger. Her body is actually pierced by an inconspicuous little flame. In the unspeakable pain, the fake saintess's strong will supports her to complete the last action. With a clang, the crystal falls firmly into the round hole on the altar. It fits perfectly. A shadow floats out of the fake saintess's body. Judging from the outline, it is a handsome and tall young man. The way he looks at the fake saintess is full of sadness and persistence. However, it only lasts for a short moment. Then it turns into tiny particles and completely dissipates between heaven and earth. The fake saintess doesn't even spare a glance to the virtual shadow. She is frightened and angry. It's you. It's you, right? It's really you. Chapter 5:11. The crystal returns to its place. Although Chiyo's soul is gone, the spreading trend of ice and snow really stops. Lin Luoran sets fire far beyond her own strength, which makes the fake saintess crazy. She keeps shouting, "It's you." However, the result of exceeding her level is that Fire Phoenix's body becomes translucent for a moment in the space, except for her own eyes that are distracted. What is more serious is that Fire Phoenix's body becomes translucent in an instant. Lin Luoran faints and loses control of her body. Her spiritual mind escapes into the space. Seeing the Fire Phoenix injuring the fake saintess at all costs, Lin Luoran sighs and blames it. "In fact, you don't have to do this. It's my fault." She puts herself and the sacred pearl in danger many times because she doesn't think about the three monsters. The little silver fish is attached to the dragon corpse and hovers over the space. Most of the attacks from the Fire Phoenix through the space barrier are ineffective. Otherwise, they may not be really afraid of the fake saintess. After all, the saintess has just succeeded in shaping her body and she uses ice and snow as a carrier. The Fire Phoenix is her natural nemesis. It is the first time that Lin Luoran's spiritual mind is forcibly absorbed by the space. She is worried that her physical body left outside the space will be destroyed. In that case, she can only choose to start all over again after hundreds of years of hard work. It's you, isn't it? Why don't you come out?" The fake saintess seems to have lost her mind. She destroys her image and looks around in the stone hall. "No one knows what she wants to find to prove the you," she says. A few awakened demonic beasts had already quietly moved to the corner to avoid her sharp edge, shivering in the corner. They hate that the Green Mountains world has been separated. It is difficult to enter the Green Mountains and even more difficult to get out of the Green Mountains. Unless the nine-tailed fox family leads them, these monsters can't break the barrier between worlds. The lark hides its head under its arm. In fact, its brain is working fast. 3 people and 1 fox in Lin Luoran's group have fainted and there is only the weakest female cultivator left. It seems that they can't change the situation. The only thing they can do now is to steal the injured cyan little fox out. They can also follow it to break the barrier and leave the Green Mountains. The lark minimizes its sense of existence and glances at the injured little fox. It is worried that it will not cooperate with its perfect plan. The fake saintess goes crazy for a while. She doesn't find the person she wants to find. She is disappointed and angry. She rushes to Lin Luoran, who is unconscious on the ground. "Since that's the case, you should appear after I kill your successor, right?" She no longer wants the bead's approval, nor does she want to test it again. She really wants to kill it. Baojia, who had been fighting with fear and herself, suddenly looked up and made a sharp sword move without thinking. The snow sword is a grade 5 magic weapon. A full blow from a bearing essence cultivator can flatten a mountain. However, the fake saintess doesn't even look back. She catches the flying sword with her backhand. 2 slender fingers exerted a little force, and the blue light of the snow sword dimmed. She threw the flying sword away, and there were 2 clear finger marks on the sword. The flying sword is closely related to the cultivator. Baojia is a sword cultivator. Her flying sword is badly damaged. She groans and blood spills from the corner of her mouth. Unexpectedly, Snow Sword is caught and thrown away. Baojia arrives later. She holds back her anger and grabs Lin Luoran into her arms. She takes the opportunity to bite the tip of her tongue and use the blood as a medium to escape in an instant. Blood escape. It is several times faster than the escape of the 5 elements. It is not difficult for cultivators to learn the blood escape. The difficulty is that it is not easy to replenish the blood and vitality consumed by the cultivator after using the blood escape. Only the blood escape can catch the fake Saintess off guard and grab Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran sees everything clearly in the space. She is very anxious, but she can't return her spiritual mind to her body. In a snow mist, Baojia takes her away. The fake Saintess snorts and chases after them. The lark and several monsters in the stone hall look at each other. They can't believe that they actually survived. The lark shakes its neck and boldly goes forward to check the cyan little fox's breath. It is a little surprised and signals to take the cyan little fox to escape together. Of course, they can't go outside, but they can still walk in the tunnel of the lark. The ice pupae hanging upside down on its head begins to melt. Most of its kind, which has been with them for hundreds of years, are still alive. The lark is very relieved. It doesn't want to take the risk of staying in the stone hall. God knows when the powerful woman will come back. Several monsters find the entrance of the tunnel and are about to leave. However, they see Liao, who is still alive. The lark asks the bear monster to carry him on its back, and they go down the tunnel together. The lark doesn't know that the tunnel has been frozen. It is full of confidence in its plan. On the other side, Baojia has already taken Lin Luoran across the mirror-like ice lake. Their figures are covered in the wind and snow. The fake Saintess chases them out, but she can't find any trace. She finds many cold ice crows to ask. Under the effect of the secretary, they all become her eyes. They can clearly see where the ice and snow go. She doesn't worry that the two female cultivators will escape. However, the crystal is put back after all. The ice and snow in the sky will gradually melt. If it takes a long time, it will be bad for her. The fake Saintess reconstructs the body of Hanba in the past. She was born to control fire. If she doesn't suppress it with the power of ice, the process of reshaping her body will burn her unprotected consciousness to death. It doesn't affect her image if the ice and snow dissipate. However, she feels a little full after swallowing and receiving Chi Yu's huge spirit power. After dealing with the two little female cultivators, the first thing she needs to do is closed-door meditation. Time waits for no man. She determines a direction and disappears in the blink of an eye. She should have escaped hundreds of miles away, right? Baojia realizes that her spirit is not good enough. It is really an extremely extravagant behavior to use essence blood as a medium. What should I do? Lin Luoran tries many times, but her spiritual mind still can't go out. She is very anxious. Don't worry. Let me go out. The silver fish takes back its worried eyes from the direction of the cabin. Fire Phoenix is seriously injured this time. It is really afraid that it can't make it. Although it is worried, it still takes the initiative to go out because it and Lin Luoran are in the same boat. Attached to the dragon bones, it can go out of the space and has some skills of the dragon race. However, such a powerful secret method consumes its soul. If it can escape this time, its situation will be no better than that of Fire Phoenix. Lin Luoran looks at the burnt tail of the silverfish and nods with tears. She is only a shadow now. White Fairy pats her on the shoulder and gives her silent encouragement. Wood Wolf also wants to say something. It wants to say something several times, but it is the weakest and can't help at all. It is very depressed. I will go out with the silver fish. If we cooperate, we may be able to escape. After all, White Fairy once fought with the Black Shadow Venerable, a primitive monster. Since she can make the Black Shadow Venerable fall into her illusion at that time, she has some confidence to deal with Hanba. Lin Luoran shakes her head hard. She is strong-minded and her spiritual mind is powerful. I don't know how much stronger she is than the monster bat. You have no chance of winning. You may even be controlled by her. Don't go. It is confirmed that the fake Saintess came to the earth at the end of the primitive era and possessed the body of Hanba. Her personal ability may be far lower than the primitive monster bat, but her spiritual mind is so powerful that the monster bat may not be able to catch up with her. White Fairy knows the situation, so she doesn't insist. The little silver fish has broken free from the space under Lin Luoran's gaze. What greets it is the freezing weather and Baojia's surprised eyes. The silver dragon suddenly appears and grows in the wind. Baojia is lucky that she doesn't cut it with her sword. Although it is huge, the silver dragon's eyes are very gentle, which makes Baojia feel at ease for no reason. Get on my back and I will take you away. The silver dragon lowers its head. After Baojia carries Lin Luoran up, it flies away in another direction. Although its speed is slower than the blood escape, it is stable and doesn't need essence blood. Not long after the silver dragon left with the two of them, a figure in red appeared on the snowy ground. The fake saintess appears in the same place and grabs a handful of wind and snow. She changed the direction of the wind. After chasing in the direction where the silver dragon flies for a while, the remaining breath in the air becomes thinner and the fake saintess stops chasing it. She stands in the same place and her spiritual mind extends around like a spider web. Her speed is much faster than her own. She leaves a spiritual mind imprint when she notices the abnormality. She quickly confirms the direction and chases after the silver dragon unhurriedly. The silver dragon is not tireless. However, the fake saintess is chasing it so closely that it doesn't dare to relax. After running for a long time, the ice and snow on the way have shown signs of melting. It tells Baojia about the situation that Lin Luoran's spiritual mind is now trapped so that she doesn't worry too much. Baojia holds Lin Luoran in one hand and firmly grasps the horn of the silver dragon with the other. Along the way, the Green Mountains world is not peaceful. The ice and snow begin to melt and it seems that animals and plants are unfreezing. However, such a serious snow disaster may lead to a flood. It is really not optimistic. The silver dragon finds a big river that begins to melt and it is a little happy. The king of the water nationality is more powerful in the water than on the land. Without the evil ice and snow, the dragon can also use some arts of nature with the help of the water. The silver dragon plunges into the water with Baojia and Lin Luoran. It lurks in the depths of the river and slowly goes down with the current. A layer of soft power wraps around the two. Baojia feels that the silver dragon is relaxed and she can't help but relax. Under the sparkling water, the fish that have just thawed look a little dull. Baojia feels tired and sleepy for a moment. She tries to wake up but still falls asleep unconsciously. The gentle water film wraps Baojia and Lin Luoran. The silver dragon puts them at the bottom of the river and hides their breath. Instead, it goes upstream against the current. The sudden breath of the dragon nationality surprises the fake saintess. She remembers the dragon tail she saw the day before and thinks that it is the same dragon. Although she doesn't know why the dragon nationality follows Lin Luoran to the Green Mountains world, the fake saintess has met it and knows that the silver dragon is just for show. It looks powerful but she is not afraid. She catches up with it at a faster speed. She intercepts the silver dragon in the upper reaches of the river with a trap that she sees through at a glance. There is a surging undercurrent under the calm river. If she goes into the water, it will turn into a lot of killing intent in an instant. The fake saintess wants to laugh. In terms of the use of spirit power, the creatures on the earth are far worse than her. Even the illusion circle is useless to her, let alone these disguises. What is ridiculous is that this is actually a fake dragon. She can clearly perceive the real soul that does not fit well with the body. When it comes to occupying people's bodies, she has rich experience that others can't compare with. The fake saintess laughs contemptuously. She ignores the killing intent in the water and directly attacks with spirit power. She wants to force out the soul that does not fit well with the dragon body. Then, of course, she swallows it. The spirit power breaks through the water and doesn't cause any waves. However, it firmly locks the dragon body. The little silver fish struggles again and again. At this moment, the fake saintess swallows Chiyo's power in addition to her own spirit power. The little silver fish is trapped in the dragon body and can't fully use its power. In this way, the little silver fish is forced out of the dragon body. Without the protection of the dragon body, it will be destroyed in a few seconds like Chiyu. The little silver fish is reluctant, but it is instantly taken back by the sacred pearl with an irresistible force. The dragon body loses its support and turns back into a white skeleton. It falls into the surging river and is instantly submerged by the waves. It turns out that you are hiding there, The fake saintess follows the direction where the breath of the little silver fish disappears. As expected, she finds the two people hiding under the water. Now, where can you escape to? The two people are pulled up from the water. A frosty flame emerges from the fake saintess's palm and instantly wraps the two people up. When the soft water layer is evaporated, the two people will be burned alive. No, Lin Luoran can clearly see everything happening outside in the space. As a gathering vitality cultivator, she already has primordial spirit. It is not impossible for her to survive if her body is destroyed. However, Baojia in the bearing essence period has not gathered vitality. She can't possess her body, let alone transform her primordial spirit like White Fairy. Baojia will die. Don't die. Lin Luoran's eyes are full of tears. She can't do anything about what is happening outside the space. She remembers that year in the hospital, Baojia was also like this in front of her. As a cultivator, she couldn't stop her friend from losing vitality. After hundreds of years, she has advanced to gathering vitality. Does she still have to watch Baojia die in front of her? Let me out. I want to go out. Lin Luoran looks around with tears in her eyes. The thick fog at the edge of the space gently bounces her back. She knows that the space is saving her by taking her primordial spirit in. However, now she only feels that the space has become a prison for her. It will separate her from her best friend forever. Let me out. I don't want the sacred pearl anymore. The water layer is getting thinner and thinner. Helplessness and despair make the primordial spirit of the early gathering vitality extremely weak. Without the consciousness of survival, Lin Luoran is about to be blown away by the breeze at any time. After more than 300 years of personal ability enhancement, she has experienced several changes. Her family is missing. Even her best friend, whom she has worked so hard to find, is going to be lost again? Cultivators have the ability 100 times stronger than mortals. They can't get rid of the mortal world, which corresponds to emotional ups and downs that are 100 times more intense than mortals. For cultivators who pursue the Tao of nature, this kind of intense emotional ups and downs is the most fatal. In a trance, she hears a heavy sigh, which makes her find a channel to vent her grievances. She bursts into tears regardless of it. The primordial spirit has no tears. Her hoarse tears come from her heart. On the second floor of the cabin, the pages of The Great Truths on the table are rustled by the wind. Someone sighs in the book. Chapter 5:12. Lin Luoran almost collapses in despair. The blue title page of The Great Truths on the table of the cabin is blown open by a gust of wind. The wordless page rustles. Someone sighs helplessly. She is more willful than before. The voice is so low that it is almost inaudible. Only White Fairy, who is still rational, seems to notice it. She glances at the direction of the cabin and thinks she has an auditory hallucination. Lin Luoran's shape is about to disappear, but that person is still moved. Light spots the size of fireflies float out of The Great Truths and shoot out of the space. They are invisible to the naked eye, so the spiritual power of the fake saintess naturally can't detect them. The light spots cover the Green Mountains world. She finds that the nearest and more powerful existence is a wood monster. It is guarding a rare spirit herb in a hidden kernel. The light spots sink into the body of the wood monster. It moves its hands and feet and is satisfied with the body it temporarily borrows. When the wood monster opens its eyes again, it looks gentle. However, its eyes seem to contain countless secrets, which makes its temperament and charm completely different from the previous wood monster. When it opens its eyes again, it seems to detect the power that does not belong to this plane in the depths of the void. Only continuous muffled thunder reminds the creatures of the plane that the existence that belongs to this world has quietly come to the world. He moves his fingers and the frequency of air fluctuations changes. He has disappeared. When he reappears, the air is fluctuating. He is already on the bank of a big river hundreds of miles away. Stepping on the 3-foot waves, he frowns slightly when he sees that the flames are really going to burn the two people to death. Go! The 3-foot blue waves under his feet separate into a clear stream and drizzle. In the blink of an eye, the flames set by the fake saintess are extinguished. The water flows around the two people slowly. Even the fire lurking in their bodies that can cause secondary damage is removed. Since he suddenly appears, the fake saintess has never looked away. She is so focused that she doesn't even care whether Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran are saved or not. In terms of appearance alone, it is an androgynous face. His black hair is simply tied up and he is wearing a light yellow robe, which makes him look even more handsome. He is a handsome man in the troubled world. Judging from the appearance, he looks like a man but the soul inside. Yes, this is an acacia tree monster with a man's appearance. His cultivation was not high, and it was obvious that he had been severely injured after his transformation. He had just undergone his second transformation not too long ago. All in all, this was an ordinary demoness with a decent temperament, but a mediocre cultivation base. But how could an ordinary acacia tree spirit have such a pair of eyes? His calm and mysterious eyes didn't match his youthful and handsome appearance. Is it him? The fake saintess's shoulders tremble uncontrollably. She has to concentrate all her consciousness to restrain herself from taking a step forward. Lin Luoran suddenly realizes that she can go out. Lin Luoran has no time to think about how the sacred bead identifies her safety. Her primordial spirit returns to her body and she can open her eyes. After protecting Baojia behind her, she smiles gratefully at the young man in the yellow robe. Voidy! Voidy shook her head. Little girl, I'm not Voidy. Lin Luoran feels as if she has been struck by lightning. Her mind goes blank and her heart suddenly forgets to beat. After a long time, she grits her teeth to find her heartbeat. It is the face of Voidy, the acacia tree. What she saw as a bystander was preaching in her dream. Is it the robe? Until Voidy laughs in a low voice, the huge blank space in her mind is filled with colorful colors again. Very nice. Voidy raises her eyebrows and asks, I mean, your voice is very nice. In such an atmosphere, her praise is so abrupt that Lin Luoran really wants to bite off her tongue. Or should she just lie on the ground and pretend to be dead? What? The robe in the body of the acacia tree can't help but laugh when he sees Lin Luoran blushing and lowering her head to look for a crack in the ground. Putting aside the awkward fact that a man was lodging with a woman, just by looking at the beautiful scene of the two people looking at each other in front of the Jade River, one had to say that the handsome young man in the yellow robe and the otherworldly woman in the green dress were an incomparably compatible couple. The complete neglect finally makes the fake saintess wake up from her self-pity. She clenches her fists and her long and beautiful nails pierce into her palms. The robe holds back the idea of rubbing Lin Luoran's hair. Noticing the real gaze of the fake saintess, he finally distracts himself. Alien consciousness, right? It's okay that you stay on the earth. But you know she is the inheritor, why do you keep making things difficult for her? His tone doesn't fluctuate much. He not only points out the origin of the fake saintess but also convicts her. Although his attitude is gentle, the unquestionable attitude in his words is very obvious. The existence of the fake saintess not only threatens Lin Luoran but also disturbs the atmosphere of his conversation with her. Alien consciousness. The fake saintess can't believe it. She feels sour and angry in her heart. She only feels that she has stayed on the earth for 10,000 years and encountered many dangers when crossing the galaxy. She feels ashamed, angry and sour at the same time. She even staggers a little. Taking 2 steps back, the fake saintess asks the robe carefully with inquiring and expectant eyes. Don't you remember me? If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, Lin Luoran would never believe that she would see such a fragile side of the fake saintess in her lifetime. She even looks pitiful? It's a pity that the robe's heart is made of iron. The beauty is so sad. He pretends to think for a while and then shakes his head as if nothing has happened. Thinking of the picture she saw, the robe overlooking a certain planet in the air, Lin Luoran guesses that the robe has lived for countless years and has visited countless planets in his life. There must be very few people and things that can make such a powerful existence care about. For him, it was normal to define something beyond the scope of his concern as an alien consciousness entity. Unfortunately, the saintess of the Jili tribe, who is high and mighty and claims to be a god, has her perfect face smashed and her body becomes shaky. Compared with abhorrence and joy, I have no impression of you at all. This kind of cognition makes her almost collapse even though she has strong willpower. She inexplicably thinks of everything she has done in the past, such as Chiyu, whose spirit power has just been devoured by her. She doesn't care about Chiyu or the aborigines on the earth at all. Is this what Chi trainers call the Tao of nature and the cycle of retribution? No, although she is indifferent, she occasionally has emotions like reluctance and pity. However, the gentle and indifferent man in front of her often smiles, but his heart is actually cold. How can I not remember? Red mist rises in the eyes of the fake saintess, blurring her vision. The temperature gradually rises. Chiyo's spirit power is not easy to digest, and she has just shaped her body. Her spiritual mind is a little chaotic, and the untamed power in her body is tumbling. Flames overflow from the corner of her dress and spread on the ice without wood. How can she not remember? She still remembers the first time she saw him. His skin color was different from that of the mother planet. The wanted order, rolling in the red alert of the interstellar TV station, searching for dangerous intruders. How can someone walk freely in the void without any equipment? She repeatedly studies the pictures broadcast by the interstellar TV station. It is completely contrary to the knowledge taught in school. As a talented genius on the mother planet who became famous when she was young, she had been allowed to skip a grade and enter the Imperial Starship General Academy. She majored in starship system design and minored in starship piloting. In the first class, the drill masters emphasized the harm of radiation to the human body during space travel. They repeatedly told the future starship operators of the Empire that they must have a sense of safety to ensure that they would never be exposed to the unknown cosmic environment. However, this alien man appeared in such a way and smashed the knowledge system she had learned. She was not convinced by the intruder, but she was also curious about it. One day, after she had racked her brain trying to figure out how the human body could walk in the void, she saw the alien invader with her own eyes during an actual combat exercise. He was so tall and his skin color was different. He lived in a tree house. When he looked down, his eyes were particularly gentle, without the dangerous feeling emphasized by the interstellar TV station. Compared with the men on the mother planet, his skin color did not meet her aesthetic standards, and his facial features could be said to be ordinary. However, as a genius who became famous when she was young, she was used to being stared at by eyes full of envy, deception, or jealousy. She had never seen a pair of eyes so pure that when they looked at her, they only looked at her as a person without other conditions. The girl's heart beat violently for no reason. How did they become familiar with each other? It seemed to be very natural. She always went to the forest, and he only stayed in the treehouse for about 2 months a year. Even if he was at home, he would be busy with his own things. He would not take the initiative to talk to her, but he would not drive her away either. He always wore a linen robe. He never ate meat. His drinking water was dew-collected, and he ate all kinds of berries. She always felt that he did not eat because he was hungry, but because he wanted to try the taste of different berries. He stayed on the mother planet for 6 years, and his footprints covered every corner of the planet. It was not until the 5th year that she talked to him. In the continuous conversation, he told her the purpose of his visit. "I am looking for an inheritor. Have you found one?" He shook his head. "This planet is very similar to my home planet, but no one is suitable to be an inheritor." She asked him where his home planet was, and she was met with a long silence. Thinking that he would not answer this question, he said after a long time, "I can't find it anymore, but there should be someone like me, right? Someone like him, with ivory white skin, black hair, and black eyes?" She firmly remembered the characteristics in her heart, and decided to help him find his home planet if there was a chance. One day, he suddenly said that he was going to leave, and left her a set of spiritual power training exercises, and then he really never came back. The second 6 years, the third 6 years, When she was almost exhausted by waiting, she decided to follow the man's footsteps. That year, she was already the only god in the field of spiritual power in the empire. She gave up her position above thousands of people and set off from the mother planet with a fleet. When she found the blue planet, the whole fleet had only her consciousness left. Her body's lifespan had exceeded the limit. She was really the most talented person in the empire, and she had actually cultivated to the realm of independent survival of spiritual power. She controlled the small spacecraft with her consciousness to land, and saw the girl from Earth who had the same skin and hair color as her. Chapter 5:13. That night, the light refracted by the Earth's satellite moon shines through the towering ancient trees. The spacecraft is eroded by unknown substances in the Earth's atmosphere. When it lands on the Earth, it is completely wrecked. It is impossible for her to repair it alone. However, her joy can't be defeated by some setbacks. She finally has the same body as him with black hair, black eyes, and ivory white skin. The Earth girl's facial features are impeccable. Even on the mother planet, she is a rare beauty. Since she borrows the body of the Earth girl, she can also live as her. Plants and beasts all have spirits. Except for the human race, she is surprised that other species on the blue planet can also extend their lifespan indefinitely through personal ability enhancement. The difference is that the beast race pays attention to bloodline, plants and trees depend on the environment and chance, and the human race needs Taoist root. Cultivators on the Earth train Qi into their bodies and call themselves Qi trainers. The key to personal ability enhancement is the so-called Taoist root in their bodies. This thing can't be seen or touched, but it will produce the most intuitive reaction when facing Reiki in the world. It was the Qi trainers who could fly in the sky and burrow into the ground that made her believe that this blue planet, which was 70% covered by water, was his hometown. Knowing that Qi trainers have a long life, she begins to look for his whereabouts while the Jioli and Xianyuan tribes are expanding in the primitive world. He looks too ordinary. In the first few years, she almost finds nothing until the Jioli tribe expands to an extremely remote small tribe. That small tribe is barren and weak, but it is arrogant. Behind us is the most famous mountain that all Qi trainers yearn for, Cyan Phoenix. She had personally explored the high mountains near the inhospitable small tribe. The mountains are beautiful with abundant Reiki. It is indeed a good place for training Qi and personal ability enhancement. There used to be magnificent buildings on the top of the mountain. However, as time goes by, there are only broken pillars left. Hundreds of stone tablets stand on the hillside. Black crows scream. There are more than 300 tombs. The small tribe has lived for a long time. It has been on the verge of extinction several times. However, it seems to be protected by fate. It has survived from the beginning of the primitive world to the present day with its decaying body. There are two strange things about the tombs in the back mountain of Cyan Phoenix. One is that it is empty without any skeletons. After a long time, she had already integrated into the customs of Huaxia, and later generations gave this kind of grave a very vivid name, cenotaph. Secondly, according to the legend of the small tribe, regardless of whether it was the first famous Qi cultivating mountain or the tombs of later generations, they were all old things from 10,000 years ago. More than 300 stone tablets were still as new as before. In the introduction to the stone tablet, apart from the different names of the deceased, the inscription was the same, Lao Ai. Who would use such a careless name? Just by looking at the name, she could not pay attention to the identity of the person who made the monument. That tribe, on the other hand, had once been protected by a mighty figure. After special treatment, the silk painting was preserved. The crude painting technique used grass juice as the pigment. It told the story of a mysterious Qi refinement warrior who killed and harmed the Bloodbat clan 10,000 years ago. The twisted lines were out of shape, and the ability of the small tribe to tell stories was also unbearable. But she still recognizes the mysterious cultivator drawn in the introduction line. The small tribe paints his action of writing in the air very vividly. It is even rarer for a man to wear beads. She is sure that the protagonist of the story is the one she travels across the vast starry sky to find. In the long years, she has grown from an ignorant girl to a princess who leads the starship fleet of the Empire to open up new territories. In the infinite distance, her body is annihilated in the endless interstellar travel. She finds the person who leads her to the magical spiritual realm. It is not so much because of the excitement hundreds of years ago, but because of the vicissitudes of life. This kind of search has become her obsession to live on. Yes, a ridiculous obsession. At that time, she had already noticed the abnormality of the event, but she subconsciously ignored it. She began to frantically search for his whereabouts on the Earth star. It is said that when Chi trainers reach a certain level of cultivation, they will ascend to the immortal world. At that time, the difference between the immortal world and the untainted land was not so big, and there was still news of the zenith heaven golden immortal walking in the human world. When she met him hundreds of years ago, he could already travel among the stars alone. That was not a skill that Chi trainers should have. With his personal ability, he should have an infinitely long life. He must still be alive. She tried every means to find him on the Earth star. She provoked a war among the human race, trying to attract the attention of the existence above the human world. She collected legends from all over the primitive world, trying to analyze some clues. When the human race flourished and the human Chi trainers developed on a large scale, she was shocked by the strength of this race. Finally, she made a plan that would affect the land of Huaxia for thousands of years. She would destroy the foundation of Chi trainers. If possible, she would disrupt the progress of this civilization. It is hard to imagine that if the Earth continues to develop like this, the individual evolution will reach the extreme, and no force in the universe can compete with it. After all, she has never heard of the keywords Taoist root and training Chi in her long interstellar journey. She is almost certain that this is a kind of civilization with infinite potential that cannot be replicated on other planets. All kinds of arts of nature mastered by the barbarians on the Earth and their long lifespan are an inestimable threat to interstellar civilization. Since it cannot be replicated or controlled, as the princess of the Empire of the Advanced Alliance star, it is necessary for her to kill such a crisis in the cradle. The interstellar survival law formed in the endless years shows that the so-called peace is the slavery of the strong to the weak. The resources of the universe are not inexhaustible. She doesn't want her home planet to be threatened one day. Her actions are very secretive. Subconsciously, she also hopes that someone will stand up to stop her. She even hopes that the person is him. Coincidentally, all the gods and Buddhas in the sky pretend to be deaf and dumb. By disappearing collectively, they acquiesce to her behavior of destroying the foundation of personal ability on the Earth. The plan was very successful. Hiding under the cover of the current situation could help her pass the stagnant days. It is not until she is successfully counterattacked by the Jiuli tribe and is sealed in the underground world of the desert by the soul-suppressing stone. In the loneliness that can torture people crazy, she reconsiders some clues that she has ignored. For example, at the beginning of primitive times, there were no gods and Buddhas on the Earth. The sporadic clues in primitive legends show that when he walked on the Earth, it was the beginning of primitive times, when powerful monsters were everywhere. Someone passed on the formula of training Chi to help the human race protect themselves, so the human race could gradually become stronger. She begins to think about whether the Earth is his home planet or just similar to it. In the interstellar transmission, because of some indescribable accident, she arrives at the end of primitive times when the human race rose. And his traces and legends are in the early primitive times when the human race was just at the beginning. Due to a freak combination of factors, the distance between them wasn't just a horizontal distance of countless light years. In fact, it is an uncrossable vertical time of 10,000 years, year after year. Even if she is willing to stay on the Earth for 10,000 years, it can't offset the huge gap of 10,000 years. Because in her long life of searching and waiting, only his image shines brighter and brighter. In his long life, he occasionally passes by a planet. 6 years is so short that he has no impression of it. The ancient books of personal ability that she regards as treasures are just something he finds casually. Her existence was just a meaningless alien consciousness entity. The flame is boundless, roasting the half-melted snow in the Green Mountains. Wherever the unscrupulous and flamboyant flame goes, the grass soaked in the snow water is instantly scorched and the trees are also wet and burning. With the help of the half-melted snow water and the flame, the melting speed is against common sense. The soil can't absorb it. The snow water with ice residue rushes down from the high place and moves crazily along the low-lying place. The snow flood arrives in the blink of an eye. Baojia wakes up slowly. She looks at Lin Luoran with unclear eyes and complicated feelings. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to care about these details. She sees that the fake saintess is stimulated and goes crazy. The Green Mountains turn into a swamp in the blink of an eye. However, the man in robe who appears in the body of the acacia tree is indifferent. Lin Luoran has to ride her sword and float in the air with Baojia. She doesn't understand why the man in robe, who suddenly appears as a savior, doesn't stop the evil deeds of the fake saintess. The man in robe tiptoes on the rising river waves. Seeing that Lin Luoran still doesn't know how to hide her emotions and frowns, he can't help but put away his casual smile. The catastrophe of the earth is inevitable. The nine-tailed fox family separated the Green Mountains to form its own world, but it only delayed the arrival of the catastrophe. Even if it is not a flood, it may encounter landslides, subsidence, or unextinguishable mountain fires in the future. Do you understand my explanation? Does the catastrophe of the Earth refer to the invasion of the Alpha Alliance 300 years ago? The Earth was scorched, mutant monsters occupied the living space of human beings, and tens of millions of species became extinct? The man in robe's words mean that some people have expected this catastrophe a long time ago, including the nine-tailed fox family. They wanted to separate the Green Mountains world to save their homeland. However, the catastrophe that has been doomed will not stop because of the means of the nine-tailed fox family. The Green Mountains did not become a scorched land, but it only survived for another 300 years. Will it become a swamp? Even so, Lin Luoran still purses her lips tightly when she thinks that this is the home of Cyan Little Fox. She sees all kinds of ordinary animals who have just woken up from the pain of being frozen and can only cling to driftwood to survive when the flood comes. Doomed catastrophe? So you don't save them? Just like you, the Earth is still easily invaded and destroyed by interstellar civilizations. Let alone the personal ability of the man in robe that she doesn't even dare to think about. Even if there are a few more gathering vitality cultivators, the war 300 years ago will not end like this. As a native Earth cultivator, Lin Luoran feels very uncomfortable at the moment because of the exhaustion of Reiki on the Earth. Seeing her expression, the man in robe can guess what Lin Luoran is thinking. Thinking of her stubborn character, he doesn't intend to explain to her why he can't intervene in this catastrophe. However, he can't be indifferent. The water character you wrote is still far from perfect. Look carefully. I will only write it once. Lin Luoran raises her head in surprise. Is the man in robe going to help her? Chapter 5:14. The character of water you write is still far from perfect. Look carefully. I will only write this once. Lin Luoran's heart settles down when she hears this. Not to mention the picture of primitive monsters bowing in front of the man in robe in her dream, Lin Luoran completely admires the strength of the man in robe from the teaching scene in The Great Truths. Even if he now borrows the monster body of the acacia tree, he can still beat the fake saintess who has just shaped her body, right? The man in robe raises his hand casually and uses his fingers as a pen. It is obviously an ordinary action, but it has a kind of freehand feeling when he does it. When he finishes the first stroke, Lin Luoran has been keenly aware of her own shortcomings. In order to grasp the shape and strokes of each character, she has repeatedly copied and written in her dream or during the several years of interstellar voyage back from Nami. She has never been tired. Her seriousness has brought her the most basic mastery of the 8 characters. The effect of the startling wind and clouds as she writes is initially apparent. However, it is far less than the effect when the man in robe writes. Lin Luoran thought it was because of her low personal ability. After watching the live version, she understands the real difference. How to put it? When Lin Luoran writes herself, she is afraid of failure, so she follows the rules in every stroke and even every node. However, the same character of water, the man in robe, makes a subtle turn from the first stroke and endows it with constant golden runes which are full of vitality. Is the change of full of Reiki because the man in robe combines with the current environment? Lin Luoran is reluctant to blink. Every subtle turn and the fierce sparks when the inspiration collides make her excited beyond words. The cerebral cortex is active frequently. It is the effect of Lin Luoran's deduction of the changes of every node. It turns out that a simple character of water can be so plastic. When the man in robe finishes writing the last stroke, he retracts his fingers. A dazzling golden rune appears in the void. The god of water is here and all water comes to worship. The snow water that is enough to drown the entire Green Mountains is drawn by the power of the law of heaven and earth and rushes in the direction of the man in robe. The snow water crosses the mountains and flows through the canyons. It gathers from the distant border of the Green Mountains. The stream first converges into a river and then surges into a river. It rushes along the well-distributed river channels in the Green Mountains. As soon as the white waves arrive, new waves come from behind. Waves chase waves, and water chase water. The snow and water occupying the east, south, west, and north have a regular pattern, minimizing the damage of the flood to the Green Mountains world. As for the fake saintess, there is no need for the robe to deal with her. More and more water vapor accumulates and gradually extinguishes the flame. Her red dress is wet, and her long hair is tightly attached to her scalp. The fake saintess has probably never been so embarrassed in her life. If she was sober at this moment, she might be willing to die. The robe floated in the air and looked at the time. When the flood converged from all directions, he spread out his right hand. His palm is like a bottomless pit with fragrant bait, attracting the flood to take the initiative to throw itself. In the dense water vapor, his side face is infinitely blurred, and people can't see his appearance clearly. It is impossible to think that he is possessing the acacia tree monster at the moment. They are obviously two completely different faces. The beauty of Unscented is clear and handsome, androgynous, and the robe he saw in the dream has very ordinary facial features for cultivators. His temperament is also gentle and indifferent, as if he will be ignored if he is not careful. His temperament is as ordinary as his facial features. Now that he has borrowed someone else's body, the delicate face of the acacia tree monster is thrown aside, making it easy for people to distinguish the two different people. In less than a quarter of an hour, the last bit of snow water is also swallowed by the palm of the man in robe. The monstrous flood that can drown a world turns into 3 blue water droplets the size of a thumbnail. Flowing silver light shines in the depths of the water droplets. There is a thin layer of protective film on the surface, which is bouncy and soft like jelly. The word water can be withdrawn and released at will, just like Lin Luoran can control and melt the snow when she writes the word snow. However, the man in robe writes according to his mind. Once the pen is finished, it will naturally gather the flood according to his mind. Don't underestimate these 3 little things. Pinching one of them at will is more powerful than the dragons making waves. Well, since I have made an exception, I will give them to you. The man in robe waves to the sky. A white cloud turns into silver light and falls down. He grabs it in his hand and pulls it into a translucent and slender silk thread. After passing through the 3 blue water droplets, it becomes a unique water droplet necklace. Looking from a distance, the water droplets are surrounded by clouds and mist. The man in robe grabs the clouds in the sky and makes them into silk threads. Some scattered clouds and mist stand beside the water droplets, lingering for a long time. Speaking of which, Lin Luoran is the one who gives gifts to her family and friends most of the time. She has received very few gifts and no one is as generous as this. According to the fake saintess, she should be the inheritor chosen by the man in robe. However, his attitude towards her is far more doting than that between a master and an apprentice. Although they have never really got along, they help each other silently in times of crisis. Maybe this is silent concern? She can feel the man in robe's protection for her. It has nothing to do with love. It is pure and sincere care, which makes her relax easily in front of the man in robe. She will feel unprecedentedly at ease. Lin Luoran doesn't hesitate and takes the water droplet necklace. The warm water vapor can nourish people's soul. Is it the right medicine for her ocean of consciousness? Lin Luoran feels that a lot of words are on the tip of her tongue, but they all turn into tacit understanding in silence. Her heart is full of the tacit understanding that, if you treat me like a national knight, I will treat you like a national knight. What about her? Baojia is affected by the serious injury of Snow Sword, so she can barely speak. Lin Luoran suddenly wakes up and looks at the direction she is pointing. The fake saintess. She almost forgets about it. The fake saintess is in a bad state now. It seems that it doesn't matter whether she is killed or not. However, for this enemy who has been entangled with her for hundreds of years, Lin Luoran has no reason to let her go out of pity even if she is possessed by the Virgin Mary. This woman can easily escape from being suppressed in the underground world twice. Without the help of the man in robe, Lin Luoran would have been doomed this time. For the fake saintess, who is good at seizing every fleeting opportunity, Lin Luoran can't defeat her even if she lives for another 300 years. If you don't remove the root of the weed, it will grow again in the spring. Sometimes cultivators really can't do anything about killing. The man in robe obviously knows the principle of helping people to the end. After Baojia asks, he almost doesn't think too much. He stretches out his index finger and points at the fake saintess from a distance. There are flashing electric arcs on his fingertips. He moves very fast, but his movement seems to be infinitely slow in the eyes of Lin Luoran and Baojia. Lin Luoran can hold on for a little longer. However, Baojia's personal ability is low, and she is injured. She frowns after a few glances at Lin Luoran. Baojia looks down and looks at her own toes. If White Fairy can see this finger, she will definitely associate it with the finger momentum that killed the elite vampire bat with one finger in the memory of the Black Shadow Venerable. In fact, after all, he is using the body of the acacia tree monster. He has spent a lot of effort to extinguish the flood. At this moment, the finger momentum is flashing with electric arcs, and it is very powerful. However, it is far less effective than the finger he used to deal with the vampire bat. Thousands of years ago, his finger easily killed the elite vampire bats. When his finger falls, both the body and the soul of the bat monster are turned into dust and blown away by the wind. However, at this moment, when his finger falls, it only destroys the body that the fake saintess has tried so hard to reconstruct. A light green shadow appears. The green-skinned person whose face can't be seen clearly is the real face of the fake saintess? Lin Luoran secretly guesses. The man in robe seemed to hesitate for a short second. Maybe he remembered something about a light green planet. When he was about to add another finger, the green shadow smiled miserably, and a bright light radiated from the center of the shadow. As arrogant as she was, the biggest mistake she made in her life was to overestimate herself and hope for something that did not belong to her. She is so proud. If she is faced with a fatal situation, she would rather choose to do it herself than give the enemy a chance to humiliate her. Her name is Jingnan. She comes from the Mohano star in the depths of the universe. She is the most outstanding soldier of the empire. Jingnan, my name is Jingnan. Will you remember my name? There is a kind of vibrant flower tree on the Mohano star. Jingnan. She is not called Hanba, Daji, or Baosi. She is not a beautiful flower in the Huaxia civilization on the earth. She is the most common Jingnan flower that blooms all over the Mohano star. Shrouded by the comfortable warm light, Jingnan's consciousness begins to fade. She suddenly wants to go home. The saintess of the Jioli tribe is dead. Baojia's tense heart suddenly relaxes. She is stunned and speechless for a moment. Compared with the amazing appearance of the fake saintess every time, the last scene of her life seems a bit lonely and ordinary. There is no vigorous resistance. Instead, it is a kind of heroic martyr. Mortals often say that nothing is more sad than a dead heart. The fake saintess has despised the earthlings for a lifetime. It seems a bit ironic that mortals often say the fake saintess actually dies in this common saying. Is this the pity of a hateful person? Come with me. The man in robe interrupts Lin Luoran's contemplation. Lin Luoran also has a lot to ask the man in robe. She smiles at Baojia apologetically. Lin Luoran and the man in robe land on a cliff with a waterfall. The environment here is quiet and it should be very suitable for the next conversation. What inheritor did the fake saintess say? Am I the inheritor you chose? It is a question. In fact, she has already confirmed the answer. She just wants to get the man in robe to admit it. Lin Luoran has been paying attention to the fake saintess. Now she finds that the clear sky is covered with dark clouds. The Green Mountains has just escaped the disaster of being submerged. It seems that heavy rain will soon come. The man in robe also notices the sky. The undisguised smile in his eyes fades a little. Yes, you are the chosen inheritor. Hearing the man in robe admit it, Lin Luoran suddenly wants to ask why she is chosen. Is it because of the little girl Momo who has something to do with her? Is she the descendant of Momo? These questions surge on the tip of her tongue, but she swallows them all. She only asks anxiously, "Where are you now?" Inadvertently, she has changed the way she addresses him. The man in robe is not used to it. After a while, he smiles. Where I am, the distance from the Earth star and this star territory can't be described specifically. In short, it is a very far place. Only if you keep moving forward on the road of personal ability enhancement, you will eventually arrive. It is just a matter of time. The distance that can't be described specifically may not be the distance of light years, but the difference between worlds. It is just like the distance between her and the Lin family. Lin Luoran feels lost. She can't imagine the level of the man in robe. So, will we meet again in the future? Just like now, whether he appears as someone else or teaches in dreams, as long as the man in robe is always there, she will feel at ease. Well, before you go to that place in person, we can only meet 3 times. Now the opportunity has been used up. The opportunity has been used up? How can it be? Lin Luoran is shocked. How can she see the man in robe 3 times? Wait, if Baojia was seriously injured before the new era is counted as 1 time, the teaching in dreams is counted as 1 time, and this time is counted as 1 time, it is really 3 times. The man in robe sees Lin Luoran's suddenly enlightened and disappointed expression. He knows that she doesn't know where the so-called 3 opportunities are. He decides not to correct her out of kindness. Although he has been witnessing her birth, growth, and opening space through the sacred pearl, this silly girl doesn't know how to explore the treasure cave. In the end, she even asks him to teach her how to train Qi. Forget it. He has known that she is not very smart. There is nothing to be annoyed about. Then, before I succeed in personal ability enhancement and go to the place where you are, you can't come to see me like this again? Does it have to be only 3 opportunities? Lin Luoran is very distressed. Even with his ability, he can't break the world and come here? The man in robe points to the cumulonimbus clouds above his head. My appearance, even in the form of spiritual mind, may disturb the rules of time and space of this world. 3 opportunities have been used up. If there is another time, one of your relatives or your planet will be backfired by the rules of time and space, or the life of your relatives, the safety of your friends, or even the disappearance of the moon. Do you think you can accept it? Lin Luoran's eyes widen. Then now you, the man in robe, looks sideways at the mountains and rivers. The smile in his voice disappears. He is a little helpless and a little sad. You don't have to worry. The rules of time and space will not backfire because of this. Because the me you see will only be exhausted after 3 attacks. The spiritual mind of my original body left in this world 10,000 years ago. Therefore, the real distance between us is not the distant starry sky, but the intertwining time in the primitive world for 10,000 years. Do you understand this explanation? Chapter 5:15. The spiritual mind of the man in robe has been used to save Lin Luoran's friend twice. Except teaching her to train qi, even this time, the sacred pearl has already pulled her primordial spirit into space. For cultivators of the gathering vitality period, the destruction of the physical body is not a big deal. They just need to change the physical body and recultivate. Because of the previous experience, it doesn't take more than a few hundred years for a cultivator of the gathering vitality period to regain the personal ability before the possession. Therefore, this crisis only makes Lin Luoran lose her physical body at most, but it doesn't endanger her life. The reason why the man in robe helps is that Lin Luoran's primordial spirit has a fundamental turbulence because of the violent emotional fluctuations. In the man in robe's view, as long as the primordial spirit is still there, no matter how beautiful or ugly Lin Luoran's physical body is, she is still Lin Luoran. Once the primordial spirit dissipates, even if there is a body with the same face as her, it is just a walking corpse. What's the point? If he didn't help her during the 2 times, he should be able to protect her during her personal ability enhancement. However, although Lin Luoran is not smart, she has been very thoughtful since she was a child. She is very loyal to others, and she will feel guilty if she does something wrong to others. About the 2 wasted chances, why does he say it out and let her think more? A small vortex appears in the cumulonimbus clouds in the sky. The vortex rotates at a high speed, pulling the clouds. Raindrops as big as soybeans have fallen. Lightning flashes and thunder roars suddenly, and the center of the vortex emits jumping electric arcs. The wind is so strong that some smaller trees have been uprooted. The big trees are falling down. Many soil particles have been swept into the vortex by the wind and disappear in the blink of an eye. Look, as soon as the 3 chances have passed, the law of time and space immediately responds. It doesn't stay any longer. The man in robe talks and jokes as if he is full of confidence for the reunion after separation. Lin Luoran has no doubt that if the man in robe continues to stay, the expanding vortex above his head will suck in the entire Green Mountains world. Is this the backfire of the law of time and space that the man in robe said? The man in robe trusts her very much. As the chosen inheritor, Lin Luoran has always been a very responsible person, although she has not yet learned what she wants to inherit. She can't just enjoy the power without fulfilling her obligations. Since she has enjoyed the magical pearl space and embarked on the road of personal ability enhancement, there will be a day when it is time for her to fulfill her responsibilities. As long as it doesn't violate the bottom line of morality, she will not shirk at all. Don't worry, I will work hard. The man in robe's eyes softened a little. For the first time, the smile that had not disappeared since he appeared reached his eyes. Yes, I believe you. I believe you. I believe you never make careless promises. The vortex has doubled in size while they are talking. The man in robe knows that it is time to say goodbye. He wants to tell Lin Luoran something, but he doesn't. He just waves at her. Goodbye. Lin Luoran feels tears in her eyes. Her robe is already standing in the mountain wind, and she slowly closes her eyes. The wind and rain abruptly stopped, and the mountain regained its tranquility. If it weren't for the broken branches of the trees and the knee-high grass on the ground, everything just now would be like a dream. Lin Luoran stares at the sky for a long time. She touches her cheek with her hand and then realizes that she is crying. The acacia tree monster's back is straight, still maintaining the posture before the clouds and rains suddenly disappear. Lin Luoran feels lucky and goes forward to call him in a low voice. The acacia tree monster opens her eyes after a while. Seeing the scene in front of her, her eyes are confused and alert. Anyone who suddenly loses consciousness and wakes up in a strange place will probably have the same reaction as her. Lin Luoran is disappointed. She instantly understands that the man in robe has really disappeared. In fact, it is better for an incarnation to return to his original place, right? Lin Luoran comforts herself and hides an indescribable strange emotion in her heart. What happened? Voidy raises her delicate eyebrows. For her, she can't have the emotion of confusion at all. Just for a moment, she becomes graceful, Voidy again. Sure enough, the acacia tree monster and the man in robe have completely different feelings. Lin Luoran is a little melancholy and says lightly, "It will be a long story. Are you sure you want to hear it?" Voidy thinks that she inexplicably loses consciousness and wakes up on a strange mountain. It is like someone has stolen a period of time, which makes her lose face in front of Lin Luoran, a female cultivator. She finally snorts coldly and doesn't ask. Oh no. Thinking that the spirit herb she found is about to ripen in an instant, she turns into a burst of blue light and soars into the sky. She disappears from Lin Luoran's sight in the blink of an eye. Lin Luoran slowly walks down the mountain and goes to the riverside where Baojia is. Baojia stands by the water with a lonely back. She turns around and looks at Lin Luoran. She wants to say something but stops on second thought. Seeing her look, Lin Luoran thinks that Baojia left on her own because of the lark's bewitchment. Baojia wanted to help in the frozen green mountains but was caught by the fake saintess. Lin Lun can't help but comfort her. "She set me up at the beginning, but now you are in trouble." Baojia wants to shake her head to deny it. However, she thinks that the follow-up has not been finished yet. It is not a good time to talk now, so she swallows what she wants to say. The two walk along the river. The dragon skeleton left in the upper reaches of the river has been washed to the middle reaches by the flood. Lin Luoran puts it back into the space. She is a little worried about Cyan Little Fox and Liao left in the stone palace, especially Liao. Baojia's flying sword is lost in the stone palace. Lin Luoran naturally has to find it. The two make an appointment to go to the stone palace. Since she led her friend on the road of personal ability enhancement, Lin Luoran has fantasized about sharing the beautiful scenery of flying under the blue sky with her sister countless times. However, because of a series of accidents, it can only be realized after more than 300 years when she has gathered vitality and Baojia has gathered essence. It has to be said that fate makes fools of people. When they escaped, Baojia first used the blood escape spell, and then she was carried by the silver dragon all the way. Unknowingly, they have been thousands of kilometers away from the direction of the stone palace. It takes some time to fly back on the sword. When the two arrive at the stone palace, they find that not only Cyan Little Fox and Liao, even the thousands of ice pupas hanging upside down before have disappeared. It must be that the monsters have escaped when the seal is unlocked. What about Cyan Little Fox and Liao? Both a person and a fox are seriously injured. They can't leave alive and well in the blink of an eye, right? Shortly after Lin Luoran is rescued by Baojia, the lark takes the lead and hides into the tunnel with Cyan Little Fox and Liao. What the lark misses is that the underground tunnel directly connecting the inside and outside of the Green Mountains has long been blocked by ice. It takes 3 monsters and 2 wounded people. It is troublesome and dangerous to turn back. If it wants to go forward, the road ahead is blocked. The powerful blackback bear monster has been sullen for a long time because of today's experience. It has no way to vent its anger, and now it is in such a situation. It can't be angry with the lark who is kind enough to take them away. It punches the mountain wall angrily. A few pieces of Green Mountain's stone fragments fall down. The lark turns its head and wants to get angry. However, it catches a glimpse of the place where the blackback bear punches. There are a few curved cracks on the mountain wall. What? The lark flutters its wings and flies over. This mountain is the highest point in the Green Mountains. It shouldn't be so weak, right? It pecks a few times with its beak and waves to the blackback bear happily. Come on, punch a few more times. It has to be said that the bear monster is strong and honest. It really walks forward honestly. In order to exert its strength, it puts Liao on the other side and punches the mountain wall a few times. After the 8th punch, the solid Green Mountain stone wall collapses backward, revealing a hole that can allow 2 people to enter and exit. If Liao is awake, he will be depressed. Why does he and Lin Luoran meet a lake? The stupid bear punches casually, but it actually opens another way by stepping on dog shit. The blackback bear picks Liao out of the lime on the ground and puts him on its back again. As the lark gives an order, they enter the stone cave one after another. Bears are blind bears. Even if bears have spiritual wisdom and personal ability, their eyesight is not very good. The blackback bear takes the lead and almost falls upside down. The lark's eyes twitch. It has to spit out a fireball from its mouth and fan it to its shoulder. The fireball is like a small light bulb, lighting up the dark stone cave. The mountain wall is smashed by the blackback bear's 8 punches. From the fracture, it seems to be 10 meters thick. It must have been hit by something before, so the cracks appear after the blackback bear's previous punches. The lark checks the fracture. There is no trace of inhibition, but the mountain wall is smooth. The mountain wall is obviously made by manpower. It is really strange. It looks into the cave. The stone cave is 10 meters square. There is only a big stone as high as 2 people standing in the northwest. There is no other way out. The lark is a little disappointed. Did the blackback bear smash the mountain wall? It doesn't give up. It turns over every corner of the stone room but finds nothing. When it is frustrated, it hears the blackback bear giggling. It turns out that the big round stone has turned into a few small flowers near the ground. The flowers are crooked, which are uglier than the graffiti of a rough bear, so it can't help laughing proudly. The lark can't figure out who turned a few small flowers here. The lines are distorted and the color is only half dyed. It seems to be a very common colorful flower on the Green Mountains. Anyway, there is no way forward and there are pursuers behind. The lark is not in a hurry to escape, so it just concentrates on studying the big round stone and the colorful flower marks. After studying for a long time, the 3 monsters have already made up their minds. The lark helplessly spreads its hands, indicating that they can either stay in the stone cave or go back the way they came. If they are unlucky, they will meet the evil woman who comes back. The 3 monsters of the blackback bear cower and are convinced by the sophistry of the lark. It is a pity that the fake saintess loses control of her emotions. The spread of the flame causes a flood in the Green Mountains. The lark almost scratches all the hair on its neck, but it still can't figure out anything. The ice melted quietly and turned into snow water that poured into the cave. She used the fact to teach the monsters a vivid lesson. There was only one entrance in the cave. When the snow water poured into the cave, the monsters immediately staggered from side to side. Liao is still on the back of the blackback bear. The cyan little fox, who is also unconscious, has been thrown out in time. It hits the big round stone heavily. The collision caused it to spit out another mouthful of fox blood, which coincidentally splashed onto the unfinished colorful flower. The last red petal is filled with fox blood. The outline of the colorful flower gradually brightens. The big round stone rumbles and moves aside, revealing the real way out. Chapter 5:16. When the flood comes, Cyan Little Fox is even more injured. The fox blood happens to dye the last blank color of the colorful flower red, opening the secret door of the big round stone. Whether these monsters are willing or not, the next wave of flood comes one after another. For monsters, Cyan Little Fox and Liao, who are unconscious, are all drawn into the stone cave together. This roller coaster ride in the stone cave is definitely not as enjoyable as surfing on the water in the amusement park. The stone cave is tortuous and changeable. There are protruding stones everywhere, and the space is sometimes wide and sometimes narrow. These monsters are knocked dizzy and fall heavily to the bottom of the cave. Except for the thick-skinned blackback bear monster, the condition of the lark and the other 3 monsters is not much better than Cyan Little Fox. Coupled with the waves of snow flood, these monsters are soaked in the bloody water, moaning. Liao is hit hard and spits out a large pool of dark red dirty blood. However, he can breathe a little. However, he is so seriously injured that he can't wake up for a while. Cyan Little Fox is also choked by the snow water. The new and old injuries attack at the same time. It opens its eyes in pain. The blow of the fake saintess is mainly aimed at the illusion circle. Cyan Little Fox is affected because it is the one who set up the circle. Most of the attack is offset by the illusion circle before it collapses. Its injury is much lighter than that of Liao, who was attacked head-on. Its head is dizzy for a long time, but it still can't figure out why it falls into this strange world with these monsters. To be honest, although it has been living outside the Green Mountains since it was a child, it used to be protected by the white fox. Later, the Lin family doted on it. Later, it grew a second tail and returned to the underground world. It has no enemies now. How can it be wronged? In addition to being proud, Cyan Little Fox is also delicate. It has been lying in the water for a long time and still hasn't recovered. It uses all 4 limbs and grits its teeth in pain. Then it swims to Liao, who is half floating on the water. Liao can breathe again. Cyan Little Fox is overjoyed. His situation is not very optimistic. He was hit by the fake Saintess without any personal ability. Normally, ordinary mortals would die on the spot. However, this old guy has lived for thousands of years. Although he can't cultivate, he is very shrewd. He is not an ordinary person. As long as he is still breathing, he can be saved. It is a pity that it is not in the mountains now. Otherwise, it can find some common spirit herbs to relieve his injury. Cyan Little Fox sighs and accepts its fate. It prepares to use its inner breath to save him. When the fox wakes up, it has to call it Grandpa Fox 3 times to repay the life-saving grace. Cyan Little Fox comforts itself while trying to spit out the fox bolus. It adjusts its breath for a long time, but the fox bolus is still in its body. Cyan Little Fox is really anxious. It doesn't expect that its injury is more serious than it imagined. The fox's bolus is not responding at all. It was burning with anxiety. Its eyes darted around and finally stopped on the 4 demonic beasts. "Hey, I'm talking to you. You stupid bear, where are you looking?" The blackback bear breathes heavily. Bears are not smart, but no one can stand being called stupid in front of it. It swims to this side from the water and wants to beat the Cyan Little Fox. Before grabbing Cyan Little Fox's neck, the lark finally wakes up and shouts angrily, "Stop! Stop! Are you kidding me?" Looking at the sudden snow flood, they can't stay in the Green Mountains world anymore. The lark still expects Cyan Little Fox to take them out of the Green Mountains. Otherwise, why does it take the reckless Liao with it? Isn't it giving Cyan Little Fox some benefits? If the lark is strangled to death by the blackback bear, they will suffer in vain. The Cyan Little Fox is so angry that it rolls its eyes because of the naked calculation in the lark's eyes. It is the most noble 9-tailed fox family in the Green Mountains. Although it only has 2 tails because of its poor strength, it is still humiliated by a low-born stinky bird. It keeps a straight face and doesn't say a word. The lark moans listlessly. It shivers in the snow water. "Hey, do you have a way to take us out of the Green Mountains?" After all, the 9-tailed fox family. It doesn't look very respectful when it speaks. After all, the 9-tailed celestial fox has disappeared from this world for a long time. For monsters like them, the 9-tailed fox has ruled the Green Mountains for a long time. They don't need to worry about some legends. Just like the Chiyu in the Stone Hall, as the former leader of the Jiuli tribe, he can catch the 9-tailed fox easily. Anyway, the 9-tailed fox is the guardian beast of the Jiuli tribe. Cyan Little Fox is so angry about the lark's attitude that it vomits blood. It is about to say something venomous when it sees Liao in a coma. It immediately changes its tone. "Oh, you want to go out? Let's save him with Monster Bolus first." When they save Liao, will Cyan Little Fox keep its promise? Sorry, the little fox has never struggled in the direction of a moral youth. It is its style to turn its back on people. The lark sneers a few times. Save him? Okay, but after leaving the Green Mountains? Cyan Little Fox is furious. Out of the Green Mountains? Damn it. As long as it gets out of this ghost cave, will it still need their help? The lark seems to know what it is thinking. It smiles. Are you counting on the 2 human female cultivators? The one in the stone hall chased them out, but there is no movement now. They are probably dead. Bullshit. Cyan Little Fox stares at the lark and finally can't help swearing. Although Lin Luoran has always been labeled as a weak female cultivator, in its heart, how can it allow others to think so? After all, she is a gathering vitality cultivator, and the other one is a little weaker. Lin Luoran has a lot of secrets. Nothing bad will happen to her, right? The cyan little fox scolds the lark, which makes the atmosphere awkward again. The blackback bear stretches out its big paw to cover its swearing mouth. The cyan little fox scratches and scolds, which makes the lark so angry that it stinks. The lark lies down for a while and recovers. When it is about to teach this disobedient little fox a lesson, the snow water that has been pouring into the cave suddenly flows back out of the stone cave without warning. The snow water is drawn back by a suction force. The sudden situation makes the monsters and cyan little fox fall on the stone wall. Until the snow water completely recedes, cyan little fox lies paralyzed in the puddle on the ground, still staring at the lark fiercely. The lark can't help but turn its head away. It doesn't know why it wants to quarrel with this childish little fox. Of course, the snow flood won't retreat for no reason. It is most likely that the two parties fighting outside have already won. Who will win? The lark thinks that Lin Luoran has a 1 in 10,000 chance of winning. Without any miracle, she will probably be killed by the androgynous Chiyu now. Even cyan little fox has to bear it. At this moment, it is more worried than happy. Is she really dead? It thinks that it was caught by the fake saintess in the name of Chiyu, so Lin Luoran came to the Green Mountains. If she dies in the Green Mountains, will the Master Fox feel guilty for the rest of his life? Cyan little fox suddenly hates its low strength. What kind of king of the Green Mountains is this? Even a dead bird can come and bully it, but it can't help Lin Luoran. It suddenly feels stubborn and wants to get out of the stone cave. Cyan little fox struggles to stand up, but its claws are badly scratched on the uneven ground. It finally stands up shakily and falls heavily to the ground again. Cyan little fox is so angry that its eyes turn red. There is something wet on its face, which makes it uncomfortable. It wipes the blood on its face with its claws. It doesn't want to cry, but the fall is so painful that its tears flow out uncontrollably. Cyan little fox is stubborn and hurts itself even more. It doesn't feel anything, but the lark on the side doesn't despise it anymore. Although its strength is a little weak, it is really stubborn. If it wants to take them out of the Green Mountains, it really can't use force. The lark is still wondering if it should save the wretched old man on the ground first and give cyan little fox some benefits. However, it doesn't know that cyan little fox can't care about Liao at all now. The lark's seductive eyes are destined to be seen by the blind. After it hurts itself all over, it lies on the ground panting. In order to sit in a more spacious place, the blackback bear moves Liao to one side. However, it finds that there are smooth lines on the ground where Liao's body was originally pressed. Flower. Flower. Different from the random graffiti it saw under the big round stone before, this colorful flower on the ground is really lifelike and breathtakingly beautiful. Even the subtle veins on the leaves and petals can be seen clearly. It can be seen how careful the painter is. The lark flaps its wings and moves over. Looking at the colorful flower painted on the ground of the stone cave, it is easy to think of the reason why they come here. What happened before the round stone was moved away? It seems that the little fox was washed by the water and hit the round stone, right? Then, the lark looks at the colorful flower. It is obvious that one of the petals is deliberately not dyed, just like the one on the big round stone. Its eyes flash. Red, orange, red, green, cyan, blue, and purple. The colorful flower is like a rainbow, but it lacks red? The lark asks the blackback bear to get some blood on cyan little fox and carefully dye the white petals. The outline of the colorful flower gradually brightens. The light is getting more and more dazzling. The four monsters can't help but close their eyes tightly. Only the half-dead cyan little fox opens its eyes wide in disbelief. For the lark and others, the cyan light is particularly dazzling. It illuminates the dark stone cave and bathes the cyan little fox in brilliance. Its wounds seem to be less painful. What surprises it even more is that the cyan light is projected on the wall of the stone cave. Mountains appear, flowers bloom, endless green, vibrant grassland, and dense forest. A cyan celestial fox with 9 tails is on the top of the highest mountain of the Green Mountains. It stretches its tail and absorbs the moonlight. It wears a wooden crown with cyan light on its head, which looks particularly mysterious and distant under the moonlight. What is this picture? The projection is alternating on the wall of the stone cave. There are hundreds of monsters kneeling to the king of the Green Mountains. There are priests of the Jioli tribe praying for the protection of the nine-tailed fox tribe, and there are celestial foxes practicing under the moonlight. It seems that after a long time or just a moment, the fragrance of flowers comes from the virtual murals. A tray woven with green vines is pulled by two green vines, slowly descending from the top of the stone cave. The cyan crown lies there quietly, silently summoning Cyan Little Fox with its simple beauty. Chapter 517. The simple and low-key cyan light crown is forged with the spirit of all trees. It has a fatal attraction to Cyan Little Fox. There is a voice tempting Cyan Little Fox to wear it. Since Cyan Little Fox saw the crown for the first time, it has never looked away. The crown has a fatal attraction to it. Is it because of the unprecedented doubling of its desire for power under the stimulation? Or is it just because the blood flowing under its sloppy appearance has always been deeply branded with the word royal? Cyan Little Fox is not sure. It feels that there is strength under its feet again. This time, it stands up smoothly and goes to the greenwood crown. Every step it takes, the feeling of being called becomes stronger. When it stops by the ivy tray, it only feels that all the blood in its body is rushing to its head. The blood is boiling, which makes it ignore the pain in its body. It stretches out its claws and trembles a little. However, its face is unusual. It is extraordinarily serious and solemn. As soon as Cyan Little Fox's claws are placed on the greenwood crown, a huge amount of information flows into its brain. Cyan Little Fox stands still. In the constant contraction and contraction of cyan light, the side face of Cyan Little Fox flickers, making it impossible to see its exact expression. Therefore, it is impossible to speculate whether what Cyan Little Fox is experiencing is good or bad. When the crown first appears, the four monsters can already open their eyes. They have been motionless because the picture projected on the wall is also a huge impact on them. The one standing on the top of the mountain in the painting should be the nine-tailed celestial fox, the legendary master of the Green Mountains world. Even the stupid blackback bear knows that the crown worn by the nine-tailed celestial fox in the painting is not only a symbol of status but also an important inheritance for the nine-tailed fox family. And Cyan Little Fox is accepting this inheritance. They treated it like that before. When things are over, will this little fox let them go? There is a moment of hesitation in the little eyes of the lark. Should it cut the weeds and eliminate the roots? Or should it leave a way for a bird to meet again in the future? To be honest, it is not completely sure about the former choice. After all, what Cyan Little Fox is experiencing now should be a very important inheritance ceremony of the nine-tailed fox family. With the suspicious nature of the Fox clan, it did not make sense for them to not be on guard at all. In a blink of an eye, the lark thinks of Chiyu, in the stone hall, who is always a man and sometimes a woman. Even if Cyan Little Fox really gets some inheritance, the first one it will fight should be Chiyu. It should be a good idea to wait for them to fight to the death. It has to be said that in this world, good people don't live long, but scourges stay for thousands of years. This truth applies everywhere, and it also applies to birds. The lark's careful thought saved its life. The Cyan Little Fox's expression changes. Its dark cyan pupils are empty, as if its soul has drifted far away. It felt that its experience was very strange. In an extremely short period of time, it had completed a grand adventure. The crown was like its eyes. Through the crown, what it saw was the nine-tailed fox clan, which was once very powerful in the Green Mountains world and even in the entire untainted land. The nine-tailed fox was an auspicious sign. Although they were powerful, compared with the primitive monsters who liked to eat human flesh and kill, the nine-tailed fox clan was actually the most gentle and powerful existence in the untainted land. As a totem worshipped a long time ago, people often referred to this clan as nine-tailed fox. However, they didn't know that there was only one in the entire clan with 9 real long tails. It was the king of the nine-tailed fox clan, and it was also the strongest who protected the entire clan. Once a new nine-tailed fox cultivated the ninth tail, the old celestial fox would pass down the greenwood crown. He would go through heaven's doom alone and become a real fox fairy. Because they rarely did evil, it was rare to hear that they failed the heaven's doom. The greenwood crown not only witnessed the strength of the nine-tailed fox clan, but also the helplessness of the last fox king when he was forced to leave. The cyan little fox always felt that the celestial fox who breathed under the moon looked very kind. The information that poured into its mind showed that it and the nine-tailed celestial fox were really related by blood. However, the nine-tailed celestial fox didn't say where the nine-tailed fox clan moved. On the contrary, it hoped that its descendants could protect the Green Mountains on its behalf after getting the Greenwood Crown, to wait for the return of the nine-tailed fox clan. Will its ancestors really return to the Green Mountains? As the last nine-tailed fox staying on the earth, the cyan little fox was lonely. There was no companion of its own kind. No matter how much love the Lin family gave it, there was always a trace of regret in its heart. However, compared with the promise of the nine-tailed celestial fox to tempt it to take over the heavy burden, what it urgently needed at the moment was obviously the power that the Greenwood Crown could bring. It would be good to have its own kind. Even if it didn't, it still had Linny, right? Compared with its strange and emotionless kin, it cared more about the safety of Lin Luoran, who had always indulged it and treated it as a family. The cyan little fox couldn't digest the huge amount of information for a while. It glanced at the key points and its eyes became clear again. It didn't care about the thoughts of the lark and other monsters at all. The cyan little fox changed its previous hesitation and trembling. It used its claws as hands and steadily held up the Greenwood Crown. According to the Real inheritance ceremony of the nine-tailed fox clan, at this moment, the old celestial fox should personally put on the crown for it. The cyan little fox didn't care at all. Anyway, it was the last nine-tailed fox left. Those old things didn't have any choice. As soon as it grew 2 tails, it got the crown of inheritance. The cyan little fox could be regarded as unprecedented. The cyan little fox put the crown on its head. At the moment when the crown was put on its head, endless monster powers surged into the cyan little fox's body. It circled around the meridians in its body again and again. The fox's bolus expanded rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. It felt its tail was itchy and uncomfortable. Something was drilling out. The severe pain made the cyan little fox couldn't help but raise its head and make a long roar. The roar lingered in the narrow stone cave. The 4 monsters looked behind the cyan little fox in horror as if they had seen a ghost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tails. At a speed visible to the naked eye, the soaring strength of the cyan little fox didn't slow down until the 6th tail grew behind it. When the 6 tails were shaking behind the cyan little fox, it was so painful that it wanted to die immediately. The 4 monsters and the cyan little fox hiding in the depths of the stone cave didn't know that the Green Mountains world had been completely shocked at this moment. All kinds of vegetation in the Green Mountains world, which was damaged by the frozen snow flood for the 2nd time, instantly rejuvenated. Ordinary animals lay on the ground in the direction of the Green Mountains. Even the monsters with successful cultivation had to desperately restrain their impulse to kneel in the direction of the Green Mountains. A brilliant rainbow hung above the Green Mountains. The disaster-prone Green Mountains world suddenly ushered in a clear sky. The first clear sky after the snow was G. The new king is born. The old mountain deer, who had lived in the deep mountains for many years, suddenly had bright eyes. It knelt down tremblingly and kowtowed 3 times and 9 times in the direction of the Green Mountains. A large number of younger generations of the mountain deer tried to help the ancestor up, but they were severely reprimanded. The new king of the Green Mountains has appeared. Why don't you kneel down? Is the old ancestor muddle-headed? What new king of the Green Mountains? The mountain deer kept discussing. Before the old mountain deer flew into a rage, they had to kowtow 3 times and 9 times in the same direction as the old mountain deer said. After the mountain deer, the same reaction happened to the mountain sparrow, the one-horned ox, the wolf, and the wild horse. the Green Mountain's world became boiling. Voidy properly placed the ripe and fallen spirit fruit in the jade box before she had time to listen to the conversation of the monsters in the mountain. A group of monsters seemed to be crazy, worshipping the new king of the Green Mountains. Voidy was a little surprised. She had heard a lot of secrets about the nine-tailed fox in the Green Mountains world in the past. She only knew that the nine-tailed fox family had long abandoned this world. She never expected that a new king would be born after a few years. However, in the direction they kowtowed, a force overflowed and swept the entire Green Mountains world. The spirit fruit she asked for was also nourished and ripened a lot earlier. Could it be that the nine-tailed fox bloodline really existed in the world and cultivated the ninth tail? In this case, it happened to be the coronation of the Fox King. According to the tradition of the monster race, she had to prepare a big congratulatory gift. Voidy sighed. After sleeping for so many years, she had nothing good with her. The spirit fruit she just got was of great benefit to Cassandra. She would never give it away. It seemed that she could only use the storehouse of Cassandra. Voidy began to think about what kind of congratulatory gift she should give in order to be appropriate. The old ancestors of the demon clan were facing the same problem as her. After a few years, the Green Mountains world suddenly had news of the celestial fox. What kind of treasure should they give to make them pay more attention to the coronation of the new king? As early as the moment when the first snow cleared up, the breath sweeping the Green Mountains had already brought Lin Luoran a surprise. Of course, she and Baojia didn't know that the Fox King appeared in the world. Lin Luoran only keenly noticed the smell of cyan little fox in the breath. The breath first came from the soil slope not far away. Lin Luoran ran out happily. Seeing the broken colorful flowers miraculously resurrected all over the slope, she had an intuition that it had something to do with cyan little fox. She didn't care what adventures cyan little fox had. Only when she saw cyan little fox and Liao who had disappeared earlier could she really feel at ease. However, the breath disappeared in the blink of an eye after sweeping the Green Mountains. Lin Luoran couldn't track it and could only wait. Baojia wanted to persuade her, but she just quietly stayed behind her and gave her silent support. She waited until the sun sank in the west and the rainbow disappeared. The breeze blew through the colorful flowers on the hillside. On the distant hillside, a young man in a green shirt appeared. The young man wore a green summer shirt with white edges. His face was like jade and his hair was like sandalwood. He came slowly in the afterglow of the setting sun. Lin Luoran's puzzled eyes only stayed on his face for a moment. Then she looked at the person he was carrying. Is it Liao? The young man who suddenly appeared had a pair of big watery eyes, which made her feel strangely familiar. The beautiful young man in a green shirt put Liao on the grass not very gently. He grinned at Lin Luoran. He was so charming that Lin Luoran was dazzled. Well, let's get to know each other again. My name is Hu Ji. Hu as in Hu Bugui, Ji as in Ji after the rain. Lin Luoran felt dizzy because of his big peach blossom eyes. It took her a long time to wake up. Chapter 5:18. Aren't cyan little foxes' big watery eyes like Bambi's? Lin Luoran feels it is familiar because cyan little fox took some of Luodong's facial features as a reference when it transformed. After all, when the little fox was growing up, Luodong was probably Lin Luoran's favorite person of the same sex. People always talk about fox spirit. Because of the influence of strange novels such as Investiture of the Gods and Strange Stories from a Chinese Studio, people think that fox spirits are all beautiful and enchanting women who will knock on the door of scholars who study at night under the hazy moonlight. In fact, before the Fox clan transforms, there is no gender. However, once you choose to be a man or a woman, it can never be changed. Before Hu Ji transforms, he always has the voice of a young man. He probably has never thought of transforming into a charming female fox. In addition, he thinks that as the new Fox King of the nine-tailed fox tribe, he can only rely on his face to make a living or even lose face. Therefore, he only transforms into a handsome young man. However, The natural charm of the fox tribe makes Huji's clear big eyes look blurred and intoxicated every time he opens and closes. After looking at Huji, Lin Luan can't help but peek at Baojia. If Baojia didn't say it, who would know that Qin Baojia, who used to be a big woman, likes to tease the weak and beautiful young man? Baojia is a little worried. She is not excited to see a beautiful young man at all. Lin Luoran sighs. Sure enough, people forget their past after being reborn. Their personalities, hobbies, and aesthetics are very different. While asking Huji what happened, she checks Liao's injury at the same time. Huji picks the key points to talk about. Of course, it is too shameful for the Lark and other monsters to plot against him. He can't talk about it in detail. Huji focuses on finding the greenwood crown and saving Liao. Lin Luoran only notices the low-key wooden crown used by the young man to tie his hair. It seems inconspicuous, but it makes Huji's strength soar from 2 tails to 6 tails. He can transform. Except for people, even crown can't be judged by its appearance. As for Liao, I've already treated him, but his injuries are very strange. Huji is somewhat frustrated. When he had 2 tails, he was so weak. Now his strength breaks through to 6 tails. It takes so much time. Even Liao can't cure him. It is so shameful. Lin Luoran carefully checks the condition of Liao's body. Huji's treatment is very appropriate. He can only continue other treatments if his heart is protected. Huji's inner bolus has been eating all kinds of spirit medicine since he was a child. It is simply a super rejuvenating elixir. Liao's situation is weird. It is reasonable to say that after receiving the essence of Huji's fox bolus, his heart meridian is protected and vitality is restored in his body. It should be time for Liao to wake up, but he doesn't show any sign of waking up. Lin Luoran checks his body functions again and again to make sure that everything is normal. She gives up the breath of his meridians and goes to the pubic field of a cultivator. It was a very weak energy fluctuation that could be overlooked if one was not paying attention. Could it be that Liao got a blessing in disguise this time? With the fake saintess's merciless blow, the seal in his body was broken? It seems that they can only know it when Liao wakes up. Lin Luoran is relieved. She looks up and smiles. Maybe it's a good thing. Let's wait for him to wake up. Huji nods. In the past, it was impossible for him to transform in a short time, so he acted cute and messed around. Who knows, he can transform suddenly. At least let him keep his image, right? The young man's peach blossom eyes are covered with a layer of mist. He is very distressed about how to face Lin Luoran, including how to meet Ma Shuangshuang and others after returning to Dongting. God, which fox king can kill him with thunder? Lin Luoran is not as calm as she looks. Well, although the cyan little fox can speak when they meet again 300 years ago, Lin Luoran is a little bit mentally prepared. However, when the cyan little fox suddenly becomes a teenager as tall as her, Lin Luoran still feels quite embarrassed. When Huji was a child, she didn't do anything worse than pinching his face and lifting his neck, right? After all, Lin Luoran is a gathering vitality cultivator. Except for the man in robe who suddenly appears out of nowhere, few people can make her emotional fluctuate violently. After listening to Huji's experience, Lin Luoran also tells the story of how the fake saintess was killed. The beautiful young man sighs. As for whether he was lamenting about the impermanence of the world, or his advancement was useless, only Huji himself knew the answer. So, what are you going to do next? The newly appointed Fox King of the Green Mountains can't just leave with her. Lin Luoran asks Huji about his plan, and he is also very embarrassed. According to his temperament, all responsibilities and burdens are just floating clouds. He can grow medicine, eat well, have fun, quarrel with others, and be spoiled. Living such a life is his lifelong pursuit. However, he just took advantage of the Greenwood Crown. Even if Huji wants to burn the bridge after crossing it, the former Fox King may really come back from another world and strangle him personally. He shivers quietly. Huji feels that it is more appropriate to deal with the Green Mountains world, which has no manager for a long time first, and then sneak out to live a life of fine clothes and delicious food. With a plan in mind, Huji smiles at Lin Luoran. The Green Mountains world should be very lively tomorrow. Do you want to stay and watch the ceremony, Linny? In the last light of the setting sun, the teenager's words are bewitching. His long and dense eyelashes cast a small shadow on his face. This scene is enough to kill all girls of the same age and strange aunties who are greedy for flowers in the world. Lin Luoran desperately tells herself that rolling her eyes is a very unladylike action which is not in line with the identity of a gathering vitality cultivator. However, Hu Ji has gone too far. With a young face, he calls her Linny. Isn't it too rude? Anyway, she raised him for a while. Hu Ji looks at her with a kind of, Linny, you know what I mean, look like. Whether in terms of physical or psychological age, the young Hu Ji is more than qualified to call Lin Luoran Linny. Lin Luoran sighs. Compared with witnessing a grand ceremony, she needs a lot of 10,000-year hollow azurite. Fire Phoenix and Silver Dragon are seriously injured this time. The aftermath of the fierce battle must be put on the agenda as soon as possible. The new king is crowned. Monsters of the Green Mountains come here one after another with the gifts they have carefully selected. For the elders, this is the tradition of the Green Mountains. However, for the new generation of monsters, they want to know more about the temperament and strength of the new king. Is the new Fox King powerful? Will the new Fox King enslave the monsters of the Green Mountains? These are what they urgently need to know. Of course, there are also some troublemakers. They are also very dissatisfied with the sudden appearance of a dead fox who was not famous before and wanted to take over the entire Green Mountains world as soon as she appeared. In short, the grand and gorgeous celebration of all monsters in Hu Ji's imagination is actually surging. The new Fox King has been crowned. The former magnificent residence of the nine-tailed fox family has long been gone. Lin Luoran and the other two work hard for a whole night. Finally, they rebuild the most magnificent building left on the Green Mountains, the stone hall where Chiyu was once sealed into Hu Ji's new home. Hu Ji, the arrogant teenager, feels a little unlucky. He is defeated by Baojia's cold expression of, if you keep talking, we will leave. He has to pinch his nose and accept this new residence. In fact, Lin Luoran has thought a lot. Many years ago, she accidentally got the monster cores of monsters from Master Mu and Master Gua. She has moved all the exotic flowers and herbs planted in space out to decorate the stone hall. As a senior jewelry designer, Baojia is very good at the combination of color, texture, and lines. With her advice, she makes changes in the details with limited resources. The gloomy feeling of the entire stone hall disappears. It adds a little ethereal in the solemnity, which is very suitable for Hu Ji's youthful appearance. Lin Luoran also wants to release the music doll. Unfortunately, her ocean of consciousness is injured. She can't use the power of faith, so she has to give up. The mist in the morning has not dissipated yet. The new Fox King, Hu Ji, is trying to put the last piece of fried egg into his mouth. The monsters who come to congratulate have already gone up to the Green Mountains. The leading monster is actually the lark who has a little conflict with Hu Ji. It is holding a colorful spirit fruit. In Hu Ji's eyes, it is really a good thing that is rare even in the Green Mountains world. However, with Hu Ji's narrow-mindedness, the lark itself is a bit of a fence-sitter. This kind of character can also be a kind of resistance if it is used well. Therefore, to the lark's surprise, Hu Ji not only doesn't lose his temper on the spot, but also accepts its gift with a smile. Lin Luoran nods secretly. There is no fox in the world that is stupid. If Hu Ji really works hard, the monsters in the Green Mountains world will not be able to do anything. Maybe they will even count the money for him after they are sold. This damned fox's appearance after taking on a human form was truly harmless to man and beast. The corners of Lin Luoran's eyes twitch. She watches the monsters coming one after another with the old and the young. When the sun rises to the highest point, the stone hall is not only filled with all kinds of gifts, but also with all kinds of strange monsters. The bustling solemn stone hall finally becomes a zoo that is not calm at all. This is clearly a contempt for the new Fox King. Even Lin Luoran can't stand those naked eyes. With Hu Ji's calculative character, she can almost foresee their tragedy. Hu Ji looks at all the monsters in the hall coldly. On the surface, he is respectful and expectant, but his eyes are more provocative, calculating, and contemptuous. Hu Ji's eyes are big and misty. He really doesn't seem to have any prestige. It's expected that he can't control the crowd. However, these monsters who come to worship are more like watching a joke. Hu Ji can't accept it. No matter whether he is a fox or a man, the most important thing for him is face. Hu Ji clears his throat. You have come from afar. I don't have anything to entertain you. Don't mention it. Fox King, you are too polite. It's time to come to visit the Fox King. The chatting sounds make the zoo more like a vegetable market. Hu Ji smiles more amiably. You can't go back to the zoo now. You are really considerate. Then I will comply with the public opinion and will not entertain you. After a while of discussion, the monsters are quiet. They just stare at the young man transformed by Hu Ji with a pair of eyes. Oh, he looks very soft, but his words are quite blunt. Hu Ji's big eyes are so misty that they are about to overflow, covering all his shrewdness. He smiles brightly and looks extremely gentle, but since you are all here, I have to take the opportunity to announce the new rules of the Green Mountains world. Fox King, please go ahead. This is the monster who notices something wrong and becomes a little sober. Oh, what rules! This is the monster who is deceived by Hu Ji's appearance and becomes more and more arrogant. Hu Ji just pretends not to hear the arrogant words. He looks around at the monsters in the field with a smile and raises a finger with distinct joints. First, all the natural treasures of the Green Mountains world belong to the state. Do you understand the state? Since I am the only one left in the Fox family, everything belongs to me. Second, what I said is the new rule of the Green Mountains world from now on. Third, please refer to the first and second rules for dealing with all emergencies. Before the monsters react, Lin Luoran is lowering her head to drink a mouthful of spirit wine. She can't help but spit it out. It has to be said that the beautiful young man Hu Ji is very strong and violent. By the way, the editor informed me that there will be an interview with Songheng Radio on July 3rd. It's an honor and a great opportunity. Now I have begun to collect questions. If you have anything to ask Abao, whether it is about the Lin family, some gossip, or new books, you can leave a message. The staff will select and summarize them. On the 3rd of next month, Bao will answer them one by one on the spot. Please do your best. Don't let me have an exclusive interview. It's very shameful. You can leave a message with the following link. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.